ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another special edition of 13 Cards Subject to Change, live on YouTube. My boy Jesse would like to do a slight intro today because Jesse has come up with the start to our show before we get into actual real wrestling and some super fun stuff that's happened over the past week. Jesse asked last night to have a special little thing to talk about, and I guarantee you it is going to be emotional. It's going to be different. There's going to be some varying opinions, but that's what we like on the show. This is 100% open show. All opinions are welcome. Like I said, the Bucks are more than welcome to that chair. Everyone's welcome to that chair.
Or a phone call. Whatever works.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. We're available every Sunday. But
I'm capable of using a phone.
Yes, but anyway, Jesse, would you like to give a little insight into what we are doing?
So today is kind of a special episode, guys. We're doing not just a wrestling fandom conversation, but a wrestling fandom, its current sometimes toxicity, and how we actually treat the wrestlers. The most important part of what we love. And that's the wrestlers. And a lot of this kind of spurred from the release of Bray Wayatt. Now, we'll get into that a little bit more later.
Yeah.
But, you know, one thing he's been dealing with a lot of is dealing with the loss of a friend.
Yes.
While still trying to push through.
To be fair, our friend of the show, Darren Corbin, has been dealing with that just as much.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
and you know, I think it's actually worth mentioning on Darren's Patreon, exclusively for Patreon people. He did give out a special little thing about Brody Lee. I think it's worth mentioning he didn't work as much with Brody as you know, Bray did.
True.
Okay, so I think it, you know, it's very important, worth mentioning that, you know. So anyway, going off this, Jesse, I'll throw it back to you here. So basically what we're gonna do is, folks, there's a way to be a fan. There's not a way, and there's a way not to be a fan. There's varying degrees of that. There's varying ideas of that. But Jesse's also gonna, you know, talk about. I think people also need to understand, and I think it's worth mentioning. Recently, in the world of professional sports,
correct.
So currently the Olympics are going on.
Yes.
The GOAT of gymnastics.
Yes.
Pulled out of the Olympics, Simone Biles, due to her own mental health. Yeah. Now, what saddens me as a nation, and I'm blaming Trump, screw anyone that doesn't want me to do it, I'm blaming him.
That's all right, we can do that.
She got so much love, but she also got a lot of hate for it.
She did.
A lot of laugh emojis on ESPN, Facebook, all this other kind of stuff. And I want to make something very clear before we even get into it. We're talking about the GOAT of gymnastics. For those of you wondering, Leroy is also going to be doing a lot of just technical work today, a little under the weather, but Leroy's going to be...
you'll see him kind of in and out.
Yeah, counting out. But no, I mean, we need to make something very clear. This young lady, and this is an actual real story, she wasn't even being scored properly. And this wasn't even a black issue.
No.
Because the gymnastics world and the Olympics is obviously worldwide. So there's blacks, there's whites, there's Asians. Also, shout out to the young lady from St. Paul, Minnesota, winning that gold medal.
Excellent job
Absolute,
by her.
You know, big shout out. But here's the deal, folks. She is the GOAT, and here's why. When your moves are getting banned because nobody else has the ability to do them, when you're getting scored differently to make it fair, when you're not legally allowed to get a perfect score because it's just not fair, you're the GOAT. End of the damn conversation, all right? But
Totally.
But it's just, folks, it's not just wrestlers, it's athletes. Some athletes were built to be in the spotlight. Deion Sanders, from the moment he walked into a football field as a small child, I guarantee someone said, he's built for this.
Right.
Mentally.
Right.
Michael Jordan, LeBron James, these are guys that are built for the spotlight.
Yeah, correct.
Then there's other superstars, like let's say a Tim Duncan, who's not only built for the spotlight, but he doesn't care. Tim Duncan never cared about the spotlight. He never wanted it. I mean,
no.
you know, he knew it came with the territory, but it wasn't something he embraced.
Yeah. No.
And then there's people, and this is not a shot at the music, who probably can't deal with it. Right now, Billie Eilish is not doing the best when it comes to the whole issues with social media. Obviously, for people that don't
Yes.
know, she recently had that little scandal saying some words. I'm not defending what she said, but what I'm saying is this: how
Actually, to be fair, it's been proven that was a hoax account. So it actually wasn't even
fair
her.
enough. But what I'm saying is that
She did take unnecessary backlash, though.
100%. But we'll get into that later for
Yeah.
other things. But what I'm saying is that even if so let's say so recently one of my favorite Let's Play channels, and we're live on YouTube. Go look up, ladies and gentlemen, the Game Grumps live on YouTube. Love those
There's some
boys.
good guys.
Yeah,
I love them. Yeah,
love
Very
those boys.
entertaining.
Danny was recently under scandal through Reddit. It was a subreddit that automatically hates the Game Grumps, so take that with a grain of salt. It was a sexual scandal involving Dan and an underage girl. Turns out, if you actually read even what the victim, quote unquote, said, there was nothing underage going on.
Yeah.
It was all misinterpreted.
Yeah.
So we need to be very clear here that these are situations where even if it's misinterpreted, it can still hurt people mentally.
Correct.
Now, in my opinion, Danny did the right thing.
Yeah.
Danny Avidan, first
Yeah,
of all,
yeah.
for those who are not
Danny
knowing,
Avidan.
goes by Danny Sexbang. Dan Avidan put out a statement, pretty much through the social media team of the Game Grumps Corporation,
Correct.
basically saying that he is not that person. He apologizes for any wrongdoing he may have done, which ultimately I think it just came out that he's kind of a
little creepy, but not illegal.
It wasn't even that. I think it just comes off that like in that moment he made a very jerky
He
decision.
just made a bad decision.
Yeah,
Very bad
no, exactly.
decision.
But again, nothing illegal. I want to be very clear about that. So we need to understand something is that, but this is what I would say to somebody like a Billie Eilish, is if you've already come out, you've already apologized for it, and you've already done something. I get it. The mental health thing is what we're here to talk about. But at some point, stop talking about it.
Yeah.
Let it go. Drop it. You have to.
So it's very interesting as we kind of now delve into
The wrestling side of
the
this.
wrestling side of this.
Yeah.
Is the fact that so recently, and God rest her soul, and I hate to bring this up for her, if this ever goes viral and her family has to hear about this ever again,
Yeah.
hopefully it's the last time. But the situation that happened with Hana Kimura,
Yeah.
as I alluded to in my original live video on the Pro Wrestling Lounge,
Yeah.
was that should have been the beginning of a conversation for wrestling fans. Now, Japanese wrestling fans, the culture is totally different. Some of what happened with that over there is just, unfortunately.
We also have to understand, folks, for those of you wondering, the people that were quote unquote held accountable, for those of you calling for blood, you also have to understand these are cultural differences that we're dealing with as well. In the United States, I think the outcry alone would have given more. These people are not being charged the way I think that you wanted, but that's a cultural thing.
factual.
So
and it's
we're not
and it's
we're not saying Japan handled it the correct way or the wrong way. We're
it's
just saying
it's a cultural thing
no,
there.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Women are looked at a certain way, men are looked at in another way, and that's kind of how they do things.
It's a fact. Yeah.
But it was also British and American wrestling fans as well.
Yeah.
That contributed to her eventually, unfortunately, committing suicide.
Yes.
It's a very. I thought at that point in time, because I think that was actually still around the very early stage, or right before the complete shutdown, early stages of COVID.
Right around the beginning of that.
Right around
Yeah,
the
it was,
beginning.
Yeah.
I actually personally thought at that point, you know what, like, this is such a terrible situation that maybe we're gonna finally start talking about wrestling fandom. Now, when I, hey Marcus, welcome to the chat. Thank you so much,
I
brother.
see that. Yep.
Marcus. So when I first saw that situation, when I got to that situation, or when I kind of understood that situation more, I was hoping among wrestling fans we would finally go, listen, guys, this division between us, unfortunately, even if it's a small percentage, the most toxic of us are a little too loud recently.
Yeah.
Sasha Banks took a lot of heat for being correct.
Yes.
Sasha Banks, the way she said it, like I said in the thing, it might have not been the most I'll just say it might have not been the most friendly way, but what she said was still factual, and that is, she felt like, because it's the ones that they deal with most of the time in their everyday lives.
Yeah.
Is that like wrestling fans? It feels like they're owed something from these wrestlers, instead of just being thankful and grateful for what they do for us, for our entertainment. Another wrestler who has gone through some similar, unfortunately, more horrible situation was Sonya.
Yeah.
Who did not deserve to be stalked like that.
Oh, God, no.
Who, her and Mandy were scared for their lives because, like I said, very extreme side.
Yeah.
But even after it happens, hey, welcome to the chat, Crazy Reaper 218.
That's me.
Oh, what's up?
And you? Oh.
That's my gaming tag.
But yeah,
Yeah.
what happened with Mandy and Sonya, where they feared for their lives to the point where WWE increased their security for those two women.
Yes.
That's something that shouldn't happen, and yet there was still a part of the fan base, while they weren't on the extreme side of what that guy did, and he deserves to go to prison.
Oh, yeah.
After that case is done, I think that case is wrapping up very soon because it's pretty open and shut.
Yeah.
Is the fact that there were still some people going like, well, I mean, hey, when the girls are out there wearing certain things, that's not acceptable. And I think as wrestling fans, we should be able to come to the realization that some of the stuff and ideals. Now, listen, you're not going to change everyone's mind.
No,
of
course
definitely
not.
not.
But if we more as a wrestling fan community, podcast community, talk community, we're more on. So Jim Cornette recently took some heat for what happened at AEW. The fan that tried to,
yeah.
And I want you to hear me out.
No. I wasn't about to interrupt you.
But he didn't need to take heat because immediately Jim Cornette and Brian
Last.
called the guy an idiot, rightfully, and said, "You don't represent me."
No.
Like, yes, I have my qualms about AEW, but back in the day, if you would have jumped the fence on me, we would have whipped your ass. Like, don't do that.
And even
It's
Jericho,
not acceptable.
And even Chris Jericho took to Twitter and said Cornette would have just whipped you with a damn tennis racket.
Like, so.
Like he has done before.
Yeah.
Hey, Derek, welcome to the chat. So it's.
Make sure, by the way, if you are in the chat, to subscribe
Yes.
to us on YouTube. Tell your friends to subscribe on YouTube.
Yes.
So, yeah.
But so it's one of those things. I think it's almost finally time, as a wrestling community, that we raised our voices, the majority voices, that go, listen, that shit isn't acceptable. And also the division of, like, I prefer this one more. And that's okay. You could prefer one more than the other.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
but
that's true.
instead of us, like, yes, we get critical on this show.
Yes.
But as I always say, anytime I get critical, it's just because I love it and I want it to be better. I want it to be the best.
I want to make something very, very clear. I have had a lot to say about, let's just use them as the prime example, the Young Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, I'll throw Kenny Omega in there. We got Kenny. We have some
Why
issues
not?
that we'll deal with a little later on after we get through this conversation. But I want to be very clear that in no way do I hate these men as people.
No.
Because here's the deal. I have no reason to
No.
hate these men as people.
No, and when we criticize them so hard for their business decisions, well, it's because you're technically running a wrestling company.
Yeah.
And we can see that it should be much better. Everyone should be able to love all elite wrestling like we want to.
And that's
And
the
we
thing.
can't.
And that's the thing.
But we criticize the business side, not the people.
We don't want all elite to go out of business.
Absolutely
We've
not.
never said that. We want the wrestlers to get paid better than they've been getting paid in the past. We want everyone to get the opportunity.
Yeah.
We just have varying opinions of how to get there.
Yeah, and also...
And the biggest thing, if I may jump in for a second
go for it.
on that, is I've said this for a long time. One of the worst inventions ever, but also one of the greatest things that's ever happened, is social media. Social media has given idiots opinions. It's allowed people here's the deal. Everyone has an opinion, and my father always used to tell me. I always talk about what my mom gave me and raised me and all that stuff. My dad was there as well, but it's just. But again, I think even my dad would say your mother's the biggest influence because that's your mom. It just was what it is.
Yeah.
But it's just what people need to understand is everyone's opinion is allowed. But when you give an opinion and it comes off as uneducated, completely misinformed, and just plain mean, then I don't think you deserve to have it.
Yeah.
Not because you're not allowed to be opinionated, but because you've proven your opinion is just insanity.
Well, it's almost so when we get into wrestling fandom and some of the toxicity that goes on, what happens is people take opinions to the extreme.
Yeah.
Now, listen, it happens in a lot of other things, but in wrestling, and I'll be honest, guys, in wrestling, the thing that I've loved so much since I was a 5-year-old kid, and my dad was able to bring me to Madison Square Garden to see a WWF back then event.
Yes.
Is one of those things where I get why the wrestlers nowadays almost don't like to come meet fans. They don't like to come talk to fans because there's almost this sense of entitlement instead of this sense of gratefulness. Hey, thank you for doing what you do. Man, solid match, dude. Damn, hope you felt better. So last week we were talking about my travels with a lot of the guys who went to PWG shows and some of the shows in Texas and things of that nature back in the day, including New Japan shows back then. Mm-hmm. And one thing that we harvested that got taken to a whole nother level in like 2015. Yeah. It was always supposed to be about supporting the wrestler. Yeah. Even if we didn't agree with, a booking decision from the promotion itself. Yeah. After every match, the wrestlers will come tell you, we gave them love. We tried to give them free beer and food. Like, they were shown love. They were taken care of because we gave a shit about them. And we had felt at the time that WWE just gave up on us as wrestling fans. So we were always grateful. Unfortunately, what I see nowadays, and Sasha was absolutely right, it's almost like this sense of, well, you should do this. Well, you should do this. Well, you should, and not even as
but let's be clear now. Well, let's be clear now. What Jesse's referring to is, and you've already said it multiple times, and you've said it, beautifully. Wrestling fans, the majority of them are good. The majority of them show up to a show, and you know what? This is where for a very rare occasion on the show, I'll disagree with Jim Cornette. The veil removed was not what killed the wrestling business. No. What killed the wrestling business was exactly what Jesse is talking about, is the fans who were always the minority voice,
but they're very loud.
Now feel like they have the ability to say what they want, to do what they want, and they believe that their stupid ideals and unsubscribe. I could give two shits less if you unsubscribe for my opinion here. But the fact of the matter is this. You are not owed a damn thing in this business, fan or otherwise. No. And but see, Jesse, this is maybe me throwing shots because I think I would have been enemies with your group back in those days. Because here's the deal. I've always been that guy where it's like, give me what your version of things are supposed to be. Yeah. And let me, judge them when they're done. Yeah. Let me look back on them. Was it good? Was it bad? Yeah. Was it, was I indifferent? Yeah. But that's my way of dealing with things. You guys were much more momentary reaction to things.
Yeah, and like I said, we were young too.
But you were also the indie scene.
Yes.
A lot of things in the indie scene are snap. Yeah. This is what you have to have.
As Derek put up in here on the YouTube feed there, he said, social media has ruined all the fun of wrestling. Yeah. It has ruined a lot of it. I do agree with that. Yeah. But we can change that.
We can absolutely
We can start trying
to
change that.
But the way to do that, folks, and not to jump the gun on a bigger conversation, but the way to do that is stop allowing wrestling to be hurt by the few that are just terrible at it. See, here's the deal. We're going to talk about AEW, Spot Monkey Wrestling, their past show. There's something happened on the past show that is one of the smallest subsets of wrestling. Basically, we'll just say garbage wrestling / deathmatch wrestling. Yeah. But here's the deal. I can love deathmatch wrestling.
It's not for everyone.
No, it's not.
It's just not.
But I can love a deathmatch show the same way that I could love a Smoky Mountain Wrestling show. Yeah. But for me, it's about knowing which moment I'm supposed to be in, and we'll talk about that a little bit later when we talk about my live interaction at SmackDown. But the thing about it is this is all the same damn thing. But the people who are the majority have to stop letting the people have an opinion that doesn't make any sense. Now, that's not me saying. Prime example was I've seen some people recently, I'm not going to name names, who have talked about the Bray Wayatt release, and they had this opinion, and they're like, well, I'm not going to watch. And then they get jumped on by people who say, and I quote, oh, no, you're going to watch. You're like, okay, and they roll their eyes. That's fine. That's just guys giving each other shit. That's not a problem in wrestling. A problem in wrestling is to say WWE deserves to lose everything they've ever built because they released one wrestler for whatever reason it was, whether Jesse's happy about it or not, whether I agree with it or not. Vince doesn't deserve to lose what he's built over a business decision that we don't know all the facts to. True. We'll get into our theories and ideas of things. But the thing about it is that the people in the wrestling community need to understand that, and this recently came out, and luckily this fan was blasted by the correct people on social media. You don't go to the wrestlers' homes and ask for an autograph. No. That recently happened to Rey Mysterio. Yeah. And, Ray being a 20, 30-year vet was as professional as Ray could be in that moment. But don't do that. No. But see, this is the part that bothers me the most. 99.9% of this is common sense.
Yes, totally is.
When I left, and I want to get this out of the way because this actually fits into this and not the fun part of the show. We left SmackDown, right? We're walking outside the Target Center. We're walking to the parking ramp. St. Paul, Minneapolis. I understand what's happened down there, and the scars of what has recently happened are still very visible. They were on their best behavior. I'm not. That's. And to the trolls out there who are like, you hate Black Lives Matter, blah, blah. No. Best behavior is not a shot at the Black Lives Matter movement. That's just everything was nice and cool. Yeah. Everybody was, nice and relaxed for the most part. But some guys outside the show, everybody's walking out. We say hi thinking he's normal. And all of a sudden he goes, wrestling's fake, right? So was the moon landing. So was COVID. And all of a sudden I'm just like, yeah, bro, knew about wrestling being fake before I even got into it. What the hell's your like? I mean, where's this going? Well, you're acting like I don't know this.
And almost in the whole wrestling being fake thing, it's just like, well, yeah, but so are movies. But I'm like, so you think Thanos exists out there? You think Thanos is going to snap us out of existence? Because if you do, I know a shrink you can go talk to.
Yeah.
But here's the
Definitely
thing.
Need one there.
I know a couple of them.
But here's the thing. It's one of those things. So what I try to I'm one of the few on the side of just people who love wrestling and love wrestling conversations online.
Yeah.
That when I see a toxic opinion that's trying to stir up something, I usually try to shut it down with pure facts. Most of the time they don't argue back because they have nothing for you.
A lot of times they argue back no matter what because, like I said, you're never going to change their mind.
Yeah.
Let me be very clear about something. And I don't give a damn what this says. I don't. If you're sitting there telling me that Donald Trump had everything to do with January 6th, okay, legally there's an argument both ways. If you're telling me he had nothing to do with it, now you're talking just utter insanity, and you fucking need to be slapped across the face because here's the deal. There's way too much goddamn evidence to prove that he had something to do with it. But to sit there and act like he is completely absolved of it is the biggest load of hogwash that's ever happened ever. Because here's the deal. Common sense would tell you nobody was in Washington, D.C. other than to listen to him talk.
True.
The rest you could fill in the blanks. Yeah. But anyway, not to get political.
In the wrestling fandom goes back to the wrestlers themselves. So let's get into AEW wrestlers for a second. Yeah. How many of them have now, who aren't even 30 yet, how many of them have now said, at this point, I'm just hoping to kind of get my money, get the big shine, and I'm going to move on to other things. Now, that's fine, but I also, as I alluded to, I think that's a damn shame that they all feel like there's a point to pro wrestling where they can't even do it anymore.
Yeah.
And a part of that, Darby Allin was asked about his statement more. Yeah. Darby Allin's only 27 years old.
Yeah.
Or 26, something like that.
Somewhere in that range, yeah.
And he was just like, well, listen. He's like, most of the fans are very loving. By the way, he was very beloved on the indie scene because he's such a good guy, I've been told. Like he's really great to talk to.
Yeah.
But he's talked about how no makeup on, going out to have dinner, and he's hoarded with autographs, which he doesn't mind doing.
No.
But like he said, like sometimes, I'm out with friends and family.
Yeah.
It's nice to just get away from being a pro wrestler for a moment.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
To heal, hang with my friends and family, things of that nature. And unfortunately, what will happen to these guys is, and gals, especially the women, unfortunately, even still, I can't believe we're still dealing with this kind of thing for the women in 2021.
Yeah, thank you.
They're called all the names in the book, unappreciative, all of this. Like, dude, they're also people.
Yeah.
So I've been to a show at the Target Center before.
Yeah.
One of the last ones I went to was when they did the Chuck and Billy wedding that The Undertaker interrupted years ago.
What a classic moment.
Great
moment.
moment.
Classic moment, yes.
Absolute classic.
And after the show, a lot of the wrestlers actually kind of as they were kind of coming out, they were actually taking like fan not interviews, but like questions and like doing like little like autograph signings if you had a picture or like a toy or something.
Yeah.
And one of the nicest people, we now know he is now one of the greatest people to ever do this, was The Undertaker, Mark Calloway.
Yeah.
And I got the chance to meet him. And I just straight up asked him, I'm only like 13 at the time, 14.
Yeah.
I just asked him, like, dude, do you ever get tired? And he's just like, all the time. But, he's like, seeing someone like you and some of the younger fans out there enjoying it is what helps me get through this. Because especially back then, they're away from their families.
Yeah.
And even during COVID, people remember a lot of them moved to Florida
just to film the show.
Just to film these
shows. 1 night a week.
Yeah.
1 or 2 nights a week.
Including for WWE, including AEW.
Yeah.
Impact. They'll go to Nashville and live in Nashville for 2 months to film all that stuff.
Yep.
And then come back. So, like, it's one of those, it's, like I said, it's one of those things that I think people don't realize. They're also people, and we have to be respectful.
I think
of
it's
the fact that they're
time,
still
before we
people.
keep going in circles here, I think it's time to move to one of the biggest reasons that we're getting into this. So WWE announced yesterday via their Twitter, which was deleted but then put back up, Bray Wayatt has been released from the WWE. Now, this has caused an uproar because I think this is the biggest name that there's come out. Now, Jesse and I have already had a couple of spats about it, which is fine.
That's what we do here.
That's exactly why we're here. My take is this. First of all, people, there's 2 sides to every story. There's probably 8 sides to every story. 2 things can be true. 2 things can be false. We don't know how much he wanted out. We don't know how much Nick Khan's influence was into it. We don't know how much Vince got tired of it because, remember, Vince was very involved in this project. Mm-hmm. We don't know if there was a budget to things because everyone's like, WWE's not hurting for money. Let me make this very clear. If AEW comes out with a expense report and says they made $200 million, that means Shad Khan just made $200 million. If Vince McMahon makes a profit of $200 million, the McMahon family didn't make a profit of $200 million. What just happened is a publicly traded company, and we're not going to have that argument because that argument can be – that's a 4-hour show. Should a wrestling company be publicly traded or not?
I don't care about them being publicly
But
traded.
here's the deal. They have investors.
Yeah.
They have public domain. They have
Correct.
all this stuff that, their expense report says they made all this money. But, okay, can I also be very clear about something? How much are they reinvested? We don't know that. How much of the profits are taxed? We don't know that.
Yeah, we don't know.
How much do the profits go to help production people? We'll get into that conversation when we talk about SmackDown because, my God, Allison's eyes were very opened up when she watched a live television taping. But the thing about it is that Vince McMahon is not spending family. Vince McMahon is a billionaire who's not trying to spend his own fortune to run this show. So while we can argue about, keep this person, keep that person, we all ain't Anthony Khan here. Who can?
I love how you're calling him by his actual full first name, by the way.
His Christian name? Yeah, exactly. We
Go
can't
for it.
all be Tony Khan, and we can't all sit here and live off of a statement that was by his father, and I quote, "Someday I'm not going to be here. I've got a lot of money. You and your sister might as well blow it while I'm here." basically admitting that his son's not doing a good job, but enjoy the cash, boy.
Enjoy the cash while
we'll get to that in a little bit
alive.
here. But the thing about it is that, look, I'm going to get this out of the way now before somebody jumps on me. I don't agree with the decision, A. B, they screwed his character up every single time. Not going to sit here and deny that. Not going to sit here and let anyone put words in my mouth and say that I am defending 100% the release of Bray Wyatt.
Correct.
Now, being the quote-unquote one of the few Vince defenders on the internet, Jesse, I know you have your opinion, and I will more than be happy to get to you on this. Mm-hmm. And I'm not throwing this in your face, but you're the one on the show who has said they signed every. First of all, I think 99% of what we're talking about doesn't become as big a problem as it is if COVID never happens.
Probably not.
I want to make that clear.
Probably not.
But also let me make this clear, and this is to all the deniers, and this is to all the people out there who just want it to go away. It happened. Get over it. Figure out how your life's going to be. Post it. Okay? I want to make this freaking clear. It happened. It's real, and we're not going to get away from that. And I'm not going to sit here and entertain conspiracy theories because we don't have time for that. And honestly, if you want to give me a conspiracy theory, give me real evidence. Don't give me crap that some person put on YouTube known as the Plandemic, which, by the way, watch it. It's the biggest load of crap I ever watched. I watched a friggin' scripted serial killer documentary that wasn't even real that made more sense and had better information than the Plandemic. But here's the deal. They signed everybody to big deals.
Yeah,
there's a budget on talent regardless of how much money you have, unless you're Tony Khan, and he's in the red. He's already admitted it. But again, he's not spending his own money, so why the hell does he care? Also, I hate to say this, Tony Khan is not at the point that Vince is at, where whether Vince sells or not in the future, we don't know. We're not going to speculate on that. There is a legacy that he wants to leave for his kids, for his grandchildren,
Correct.
For many other people that he will leave on this earth.
Correct.
Okay? And he's at that point in his life where he knows that's coming.
Yeah.
Okay? So
Though I think he still believes he's going to live to 120 or something like that.
He probably will at this point.
He's going to damn sure try.
He's the Rolling Stones of the wrestling business. I don't care what anybody says.
That is true.
But just look. There's a budget on talent, and it's called Moneyball. Okay? You want to win a World Series, but as a billionaire, you also only want to put so much money into it. I'm sorry, Tony, but if you wanted a successful, soccer team, maybe you throw a little more money at actual, real players, but also don't insult the guys that are already in your locker room. You're an idiot for that. If the Jacksonville Jaguars want to mean something, you use the $89 million in cap room that you had there, boys, because guess what? You need to. You go get the best coach you can think of. You go get the best player you can think of.
In the NFL, first of all, there's a cap.
Yeah.
So use the money that you get under the cap.
You definitely have to use it
because that's usually the only way you're usually going to
hate Tom Brady all you want, and forget the freaking thing about the $100 million wife. That's just that man getting lucky. He knows one thing. He takes less money. They bring back 22 of 22 starters from a Super Bowl championship team. Never been done.
I still hate him. I don't care.
Which is fine.
I'm a New Yorker and a Jet fan.
I'm aware. I'm aware. You have every right to do that.
Yes.
But my point is this.
As far as I'm concerned, if his PP got hurt and he couldn't play the year, I'd be great.
There you go. But that's my point, is just there is a cap of how much someone is willing to spend. Tony Khan, fuck you first and foremost, because I want to make this clear. There is no way, from the way I've watched you do business, that you have any value of a dollar in your mind. Am I correct in that? Anyone going to sit here and question what I just said?
Between the soccer team, between
the Jaguars, Wembley Stadium.
I mean, the Jaguars are definitely more his father than him.
Yes.
Let's be honest. That's definitely more his father.
Yeah.
If he was running the Jaguars, they would never get out.
He was in the war room when they made the pick, though.
Yeah, but
I was sitting there. Alice and I both said, "Hey, Tony, fuck you."
I mean, just like for the Vikings, Ziggy's son is there too.
Yeah.
But we know who owns the damn Vikings.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. But
we know if they don't get it done this year, who's firing the GM and the coach. Like we know who's doing that.
No. To be fair though, I think the GM's okay because look at the roster put together. The coach is the one under fire. But no,
well, that's a different conversation for another time.
Another day.
Definitely.
Jay's take live on Twitch.
Yeah.
Anyway,
coming up soon.
let me make this clear. Bray Wyatt could have also just as easily asked to be out. A lot of wrestlers are doing that now. Vince is sitting there saying, I've got 89 plus people that I'm actually doing something with.
I think the only one that he didn't want to go so far was Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
And it's
but
fairly clear at this point that
But when we get to AEW, I'll explain my point about that with Daniel, but I'm going to save that for Daniel.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. We also need to be very clear. We watched a mountain of a man who we have recently found out after his untimely passing was arguably one of the nicest motherfuckers you'll ever come across.
Oh, yeah.
A father, a husband, a friend, a great talent who got big at a very late age.
Yeah.
Brody Lee passed away. And to the gentleman from the Pro Wrestling Torch, formerly from the Pro Wrestling Torch, his wife should tell us how he died. Fuck you. Let his kids...
Once again, what was I talking about? Entitlement.
Let his kids freaking let his kids come to grip for at least a goddamn month that their dad is not going to walk through the door.
Yeah.
Let the wife bury her freaking husband before you stand up and say, we deserve it. We don't deserve shit! And even Jim Cornette defended AEW in saying, you can do whatever you want for the Brody Lee show, and we're not going to freaking critique it.
Yeah.
The Sun wrote the show. I'm not mad about that show. I'm not.
It was actually a fun little show.
It was
very sweet. It was
but
really
I want to
sweet.
point something out. We are not entitled in the wrestling media, which we technically are.
Yeah.
We are not entitled as people with a podcast. We are not entitled as fans to know that how he died. Fuck you. We don't deserve that.
No.
We are not entitled to anything. You know who's entitled to that? His goddamn wife.
Yeah.
End of fucking list.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm pissed about this because this is part of that toxic group of people that are sitting there saying, well, it's a public health risk. No, it fucking ain't. Because if it is, the information's already at the CDC.
Probably.
And you know what? Stop being a goddamn Trumper and listen to them motherfuckers because they know what the hell they're doing. But it's just... Let the CDC deal with the public health issue. That's not your goddamn job sitting on your ass writing a damn column for a wrestling magazine, okay?
Exactly.
Brody Lee passed away, and we knew from the moment it happened, who did he spend a very large amount of time with in his wrestling
Wyndham
career?
Rotunda / Bray Wyatt.
Thank you. So
they were almost like brothers. Basically,
exactly. Well, but here's the deal. Here's the deal. I don't care if you're Jane's Addiction and you hated each other from the get-go, but you come together to create great music.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're Motley Crue. If anybody thought Motley Crue was actually going to stay away from each other, they've known each other longer than they've known their kids and their wives.
It's true.
They were not staying away. That contract was getting ripped up long before it was written. I want to make this clear. You can't be in a band, you can't be on the road with someone that long, that close, tight-knit, and not have some form of love and respect.
For sure.
Bray Wyatt was asked to still be a top guy. Because you know what? I'll say it. Stone Cold, outside of just the mental aspect of what he was doing, and yes, I know Brian Pillman passed away during that time, but Stone Cold got divorced. He had issues, but...
Got divorced multiple times.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, Stone Cold's a different kind of person. He's from a different era. He was raised differently.
It was a different time in how they used to deal with stuff.
And that's why I wasn't mad at Skip Bayless when he got on Dak about, you know, having a mental health problem, because Dak is from a different era of sports than what Skip Bayless is used to. Back then, and don't tell me, you know, and it's like even if someone comes out and supports Dak were playing in the late 90s, got on that field. You don't think some D-back's going to be yelling at Dak about his little, you know, mental instability? He's not going to call him a little girl about it.
Yeah.
It's the culture of the world.
That's what it was back then. Not saying it was good.
No.
It was bad, but that was the culture.
That's what it was.
Oh, yeah.
A mother sat at home. Her child watched something stupid on television. Mom said, don't ever do that again. End of conversation.
Yeah.
Now, it's the network's fault. Now, it's the wrestling's fault.
Yeah.
Be a parent. Tell your kid to shut up and go to their room. But when you lose someone like that,
that's what I do.
There's no way in hell. And the body's barely cold at this point. And that's not me being disrespectful.
Yeah.
Brody Lee ain't been in the ground for a year. And you're asking someone to just pick up the pieces.
Tough to do.
Not to mention the fact, to quote his lovely widow, who the hell was there when she told Junior that Dad wasn't coming home? It was Big E and it was Cody Rhodes. Mm-hmm. She's confirmed this.
Yeah.
I don't want to ever have to be in a room like that. I don't care.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
Big E, the fact that he can still be himself after having to be in that room, that's got to change a man. That's got to change somebody.
Big E was a close friend. Big E was a very close friend of that family. And
Sami Zayn says he wishes he could call up his friend and talk shit about the Haps.
You know,
he wishes,
Carl Anderson's kind of nice
tweet,
every now and then. It's like,
please go ahead.
my kids were playing with Brody when it was Luke Harper in a game, and he said, I looked at my phone and realized I can't call my friend. I miss my friend. So anytime he sees like his kids just referencing, because they got a chance to get a lot of that gear before he passed away.
Yeah.
And his son had the coat on.
Yep.
And he's just like, I want to call the wife. But he's just like, even till this day, the only thing I've ever been able to say to the widow is like, I'm sorry. But he's like, I don't even know what I would say, because we were friends with the guy for 10 years. Like I can't. He's like, I can't even imagine what she's going through. And
she seems. And by the way,
she's got
kudos to her. She seems
a lot
to
of strength from that woman.
That's a strong.
A lot of strength from that woman.
That's a strong person.
Because she not and listen, like I said, I gave AEW, and I will always give AEW a lot of credit for going, we're going to try to make sure we always take care of your family. Now, it's not something that's new in pro wrestling.
But that's what Tony Khan should have done.
Yes.
100%. Because
definitely.
Because by the way.
And listen, I'm not shocked that they did it. Of course, Cody was very close to Brody.
I also want to point something out. This is another thing that the wrestling fan base needs to understand. I am having to change my view of being a fan because I am now going to be 30. So if a wrestler...
Welcome.
Yeah, exactly. So
30. Oh, whatever.
Just because you're 30,000 doesn't mean that we can have this conversation, all right?
When you get up to my age, you'll understand.
Go bowling with Fred and Barney, all right?
It was fun.
I know.
Yeah. They were great guys.
Yeah. But anyway, I want to make something very clear. If you are 30 and a wrestler high fives a 4-year-old, it's about the kids. Shut your goddamn mouth and sit down. Okay? I at 30 years old don't deserve more than what a 9-year-old deserves.
Yeah.
Because I've had my moments. We're going to talk about a big moment that allowed me to do something I never thought I would do, and we'll get into that later. But enough is enough is enough.
Yeah.
It's about the kids.
Yes.
Because they're the ones where it's time for the memories to build. If you're 25 years old and a wrestler pays more attention to a kid than you, don't be a little prissy baby and act younger than the kid. Accept it, move on with your life. You're a grown-ass adult.
I'm about to say, just enjoy the moment for the kid.
Thank you.
So you guys brought me to
quick story.
Quick
story. So my buddy has season tickets to the UMD Bulldogs here in town, okay? 3-time NCAA champion in a row, because 2020 there wasn't a championship. We're the uncrowned champs of 2020.
That is true.
So where those seats are is directly behind the Bulldog bench.
Okay.
But we're in that area where the glass opens up, and if someone shoots it from the blue line, it's coming through the glass right at your damn face. So that happened once.
Oh, okay.
And I had to puck it. I had to hand check it.
Oh, wow.
And my palm literally had the redness of a puck. I then flipped over because I realized it didn't go far off my hand, and then I ended up doing a somersault over the guardrail. But anyway.
And you're still with us today.
Yeah, exactly. You want to know where that puck is? It's in some kid's room.
Yeah.
It's in some kid's room. Because here's the deal. That puck meant more to him than it will ever mean to me.
Yeah.
As a grown-ass adult, that puck will. Yes, as an adult, you hold things. I still have a stuffed animal that I got when I was in the hospital when I was 5 years old from my grandmother. Still have that stuffed animal. I get it restored. I get it restored. Every couple of years. That thing's never going. That'll be in my kid's bed. All right.
Yeah.
That ain't. That thing's gonna outlive me if it fucking kills me. But in the moment, that puck meant more to that kid.
Yeah.
That puck means more than anything. See, that's why when you see a hockey player, and by the way, hockey videos are some of the most genuine videos in the world. People don't give hockey players credit for how they treat the fans and how cool they are with their fans, but that's why I hate videos when the hockey player tosses the puck over the thing and a 40-year-old guy grabs it away from a kid. You deserve to get thrown on the ice and body checked right,
you do definitely
right then and there, all right?
Like I said, you guys got the chance to bring me to an MAW show before COVID hit.
Yeah.
And it was nice. Like I said, it was nice again. Because when I used to travel with those guys, those shows, it was mostly grown-ass, or I would say grown-ass men, but we were all like 20 and up.
Yeah.
Like, it was mostly grown-ass men.
Oh, yeah.
And so the camaraderie was basically between grown-ass adults. But when you guys brought me to that show, it reminded me of what it was like to go to an independent show that had kids in it. Because, so we were, I got the chance to help do security with that one.
Yeah.
And, by the way, still congratulations on the engagement, Lainey Luck. Happy for you and your fiance.
Absolutely love it.
But
It was great.
when I watched her interact with the kids,
Yeah.
I'm like, this is what this is about. Like, it was a reminder, like, this is what this is about. And, I kind of got the chance to go up to her after the show, and I was like, I think tonight you were my favorite performer because I think you literally just reminded me what this is about.
Yeah.
And I think that gets lost among wrestling fans as you get older, like, because you're always looking at your next memory and things of that nature, and as you like to say, when you get to Leroy's age of 3,000, there's you want to make as many memories as you can. By the way, Leroy's not 3,000 people. He just likes to throw that out there.
I'm about halfway there.
1,500's not.
There we go.
You look good for $14.97.
Well, thank you. But I get to enjoy the experience with my kids.
Yeah.
Bringing my son Evan to his first wrestling show and seeing him break out of his mold and seeing these wrestlers and just the joy.
Yeah.
And pretty soon Clara will be able to go to a show and I'll be able to see her just wig out on all the girls.
It's interesting.
So
it's interesting.
Yeah.
When we get into SmackDown here in a little bit, I have been able to be very lucky in my life in the sense that there was a point in my life, I would say, look about 5 years back, okay? You get that weird mid-20s vibe where all of a sudden you're and again, this is the horribleness of social media.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You got friends who are getting their master's degree. You got friends who moved out of town and they got this amazing new job in, I don't know, Colorado, we'll use an example.
Yeah.
We'll just throw one out there. They're getting married. They got a kid on the way. They got this. They got that. And you get into that weird depressive funk of what are you doing with your life? And everyone gets it. This is the part of the mental health thing. It
I've been
happens.
through it in my mid-20s.
I want to point something out.
It exists.
I want to point something out. 25 years old. I meet a girl who for 8 months was 18 years old. Yes, I have no problem saying she was legal when I met her. So
There you go. Yeah.
I want to make that clear. November 17th of that same year, we become a couple. I'm still with her to this day. My lovely fiance, getting married in 2 years. Here's the deal.
I'll be there.
Here's the deal.
I will be there physically.
Yes.
If he has alcohol after the reception and I'm done crying,
no liquor.
I will not. Oh, okay, then I'll be there.
Yeah. No liquor, just beer. Anyway.
Don't worry, I'll hook you up.
Yeah. Anyway. So, but what was interesting was the day after we started going out, and no one knew for like 2 weeks. It wasn't like we were trying to hide it. We just didn't tell anybody. Because again, my point of this is with her, everything's just been a little too smooth sailing, but everything's still great.
Yeah.
But it's just been that easy and that simple. This isn't a psychological podcast, but I want to make this clear. If you're one of those people out there that says love is the hardest thing you'll ever do in life, you're fucking kidding yourselves because you know what? It's supposed to be the easiest damn thing in your life. End of conversation. Leroy doesn't need to be told he has to love his 2 kids. Or your 4 kids, really.
Exactly. 4 kids. You only see 2 of them.
Exactly.
I do got 4.
Exactly.
I love all 4 of them the same.
Yes. But my point is, going back to to the overall point of where I'm trying to get to is, I now get to see life differently because I am now back in my own world of, okay, I'm really not that far behind everybody. It's really not that big of a deal.
No.
If I'm happy, who cares?
Yeah.
I get to see things through her perspective in life. See, remember, people, Becky took that chance to have a family because she was 31, 32 years old.
She's my age, yes, 32.
Yeah, she was 32 years old, okay? Biologically, you can't fight that clock. You can't. I'm sorry.
No.
Like science has not gone that far. I'm going to be 30. She's going to be 24. So there's a bit of a gap there where I don't have to be on my schedule. I can be more on her life schedule.
Yeah.
And that's a unique perspective to look at. The other thing that is interesting with Allison is I've watched her become a wrestling fan, become an excited wrestling fan, and to see her find the people that make her happy, to see her eyes go wide, and we'll talk about that a little more in depth after, when we talk about me going to SmackDown. But folks, this is about the people who aren't already in this, who don't have 10 years of memories, 20 years of memories of this.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if they're 24, 25 years old. It doesn't matter if they're 5. Okay? Stop ruining the show by sitting there and saying it's not what it used to be. Don't do that.
Yeah.
That's not fun anymore.
No.
Is it what it used to be? No, because 10 million people aren't watching Raw.
And also, you can't do the shit that you could do in 2000 because for better, I think for better, but some people think for worse, we are more aware of things that we need to be aware of.
I just want to make something very clear.
You cannot do bra and panties anymore.
Hold on a second.
On wrestling television.
Hold on a second, boys.
I wish we could, damn it.
Boys.
There are websites you can go
hold
to.
Hold on.
Yeah, I know a few of those.
Quick.
He has to stop us before we get into bra and panties.
Hold on a second. Quick list to you gentlemen of things that you can't do in wrestling anymore. And let's be honest, what we'd all get canceled for. Can't do bra and panties matches.
Damn.
So sad.
The Edge and Matt Hardy storyline, you probably can't
do
that anymore.
Can't get away with that too much
No
anymore.
live sex shows, dang it.
New Jack saying, "Hey OJ, keep it going, my brother. 2 less to deal with." You ain't saying that on network television anymore.
No more.
The Booker T versus Triple H thing, that ain't happening anymore.
Sure can't happen
Even
no more.
if Booker was okay with it, it's still not going to be allowed on TV anymore. But the fact of the matter is this: you can't do that kind of stuff anymore.
Yeah.
But that doesn't change the fact that nowadays the wrestlers are not only asked but are encouraged to be more honest about their lives.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Here's the deal. When I first got the WWE Network and I saw shows where the veil was removed, and I saw that Lexi Kaufman was the complete opposite human being of who Alexa Bliss is.
Yeah.
When I see that Taker is pretty much who I thought he was, there's joy in both.
Yeah.
But there's also joy in I love The Undertaker and I love Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
But I can also respect Mark Calloway and Lexi Kaufman.
Correct.
You can sit there and say, what the hell were they doing giving Lexi Kaufman breast implants at like 14 years old? But then you hear her talk about pediatrician, plastic surgeon, anesthesiologist, her psychiatrist, her like so many people involved in something that's like, this is a vain thing. No. This is something that her brain couldn't turn off, and if it helped, it helped. Correct. Which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Things are changing in the world.
Yeah.
We do more drastic things.
Yeah.
If a wrestler wants to be transgender and Nyla Rose wants to go as Nyla Rose, then that is what we will respect and that is what we will do.
Correct. And the ladies are just fine with it. So
and that's the thing. If the locker room's okay with it, the locker room's okay with it.
It's not a problem. It's not a problem
But
at all.
the thing about it is that, sadly, wrestling locker rooms are a little more open than maybe other athletic locker rooms. But again, It's a sport, but it's a little more predetermined. There's an argument to be made that, yes, if you want to identify as a woman, that's great, but there's still biological things we can't turn off, and you shouldn't be in a weightlifting competition involving females. That's just an obvious sort of thing. There's arguments to be made there. Everyone can have their opinion.
I'm half and half on that because
Fair
I'm not
enough.
sure if you've ever seen a Russian woman in a lifting contest.
But that was the old. but that was the old Western.
I mean,
that was the old Soviet Union.
Hey,
one.
no, wait a minute. I was
them,
watching 3-on-3 in basketball where U.S. is playing China. Them women look a little butch from China, not from the U.S.
No.
They look like women. The other ones are.
But anyway,
Jesse.
but anyway, you get.
just throwing it out
Yeah.
there.
All right.
But you get my point.
Yeah.
There's arguments in certain ways, but we're not here to talk about arguments
Correct.
that involve 30,000 other factors. The simple fact of the matter is if that's what made Nyla Rose happy, I literally don't care.
Yeah.
Not in the sense that I don't think that she should have done that. I don't care because that's your life, not mine.
Yeah.
I don't have to live in Nyla Rose's life.
Correct.
If the locker room's okay with it, who am I to question why Nyla Rose is in that company, is in that locker room?
Correct.
Your booking could be better, but that's a whole other story.
That is something we will get into at
yes.
some point with them.
We discuss that quite often.
Yes, we do. But here's the thing. Bray Wyatt, getting back to the crux of the matter. In my personal opinion, and this is my opinion as a human being, take the wrestling out of it, I'm glad it happened. Because as far as I'm concerned, between the divorce, and there were 2 kids in that first marriage, to his new baby with JoJo, to everything that's happened with Brody, to everything that I've heard that I don't dispute, I'm glad it happened. Because maybe he does need some time away.
Yeah.
Maybe these 90 days, hopefully he gets more back in touch with his family. Maybe, maybe he figures out his life a little more. The divorce with Joe, with his former wife and getting with JoJo, that could have just been the perils of being on the road and famous.
Yeah.
I don't know the full story. I'm not here to question what he did. But the fact of the matter is this.
Sometimes,
If he's not okay, I don't want WWE to keep him.
True.
I don't want them to call him and say, "Are you ready?" I want the man to spend 90 days, and if he's ready when it's over and AEW comes calling, or if MLW comes calling, or if anyone comes calling, then do what you feel is best, sir.
Yeah.
But right now, who's to say he even knows what's best for himself? Because here's the deal. A lot of times you don't. I thought what was best for me was to find a girl my age and finally start settling down to a point where, let's be honest, I didn't want to, but I thought that's what I should have done. Then I get luckier than hell to find someone who's at a completely different stage of their life, and I realize I'm okay.
Yeah.
I can take some time off from what everyone thinks I should be doing and focus on what I want to do.
Hey, man, at least you found someone. I mean, I'm 32. You know how many times I've been to a bar?
Don't worry.
7?
It takes a while.
More than 7. Try 7 times 100.
I'm enjoying the single life. Trust me.
Well, but
I'm getting there.
you're right. Yeah,
I'm enjoying. Well,
but Leroy,
I've experienced.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
And,
so I'm
after
okay.
watching you and
Yeah.
people closely related to me, I'm almost like, maybe marriage is not something I should do.
but now, Leroy, if I may, and if you don't want to talk about it, feel free to tell me to fuck off. When you went through your perils with your ex, what exactly was that time like with you? Because obviously you're at a stage.
I don't mean to cut you off.
What's up?
Aaron, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Oh,
And he's basically agreeing
Yeah.
with you. You're absolutely right, man. We really don't know.
Right.
And like I said, my only point about the Bray Wyatt thing will be this.
Yes.
Because me and him kind of argued pre-show about it.
Yeah.
Is that I first off, only reason it sucks for me to see him get cut
Yes.
is just outside of his personal life. I thought this was one of the best WWE guys that WWE's had in a long time.
100%. Never gonna deny it.
and
And WWE
so-
screwed up. They screwed up.
They
on
have screwed up the
camera.
booking, and there's a very good chance that there's going to be probably some admittance from them about some things that went wrong with him.
Oh,
depending
Vince
on
has
what he
already
does.
said he screwed up. That's why Vince took the Firefly Funhouse so seriously.
Yeah.
Was because Vince knew he messed up something great.
Yeah.
Vince knew that.
And so I will be interested to hear from Bray at some point whenever he decides to talk, whenever he decides to kind of.
And if he never says anything and just shows up on Dynamite, fine.
That's fine.
You do you.
Yep.
I don't care.
Agree with that.
I'm going to support him.
Yes.
Regardless, and it's because people have asked me who's the one wrestler that you really wish you would have met nowadays, newer in the business.
Yeah.
And it's Wyndham Rotunda.
Yeah.
Like there's just anytime I've heard a story about him, it's all like he's a beautiful mind. Like it's great to just sit there and talk to the guy.
Yeah.
Like and fans meet him, they're like, man, I wish this guy nothing but the best. Like what a great fucking guy. Because apparently his dad was not so kind in the early '90s.
Can I also point something out? By the way, Bulls BOWLES Movement 08 is Aaron.
Yes.
AB on.
Oh yes, yeah, we know.
On YouTube has some good football takes, folks. I want to point something out.
Yes, he does.
Exact quote here, and I quote from Aaron: The guy haven't been on TV for months now. Everyone talking about they're done watching. Like, damn, is he the first guy to ever be released ever? People overreacting. He's not. Sorry, end quote.
And
he's not
I agree.
wrong.
I agree.
And I want to make something very clear. This is another thing that I want to get into about toxic wrestling, and then this, in my opinion, should be the last thing. Then we'll move on to actual stuff. You're going to watch. Shut the hell up. You're reacting 24 hours after news. You're still going to watch Raw no matter how bad it is. And we've watched a lot of bad Raw.
I've watched a lot of bad Raw.
SmackDown's the best thing going. You're going to watch that.
SmackDown and NXT are great. But yeah,
and
Raw
by the way, you've proven, many of you, you're going to watch AEW regardless of what they do.
I mean, hell.
They'll shit on the floor and you'll watch.
They damn near sold out last week for Raw. And it was only an okay show, and that was because the fans were there.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, okay, folks. First of all, I don't think you need to erase social media from your life to get better.
No.
But I think you just have to accept that there are good and there are bad, and you have to focus on one of the two.
I agree.
You have to make a decision. If you want to focus on the bad and dwell your life and be sorry for yourself your whole life, fine, but I probably won't be around you because I don't deal with people that don't help themselves. And there we go. That's the other thing. That's the other thing.
AB just mentioned Matt Cardona.
Look at Cardona.
This is the best thing Cardona's been doing.
And he's laughing.
I gotta be honest, man.
Cardona's the best.
I don't disagree with Aaron.
No.
Like Cardona's doing some of his best work.
And can we also point this out right here? Ladies and gentlemen, if he was unhappy, let him go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let him do something else. But here's the deal. If he's unhappy, and first of all, WWE's had more misses than hits.
True.
If they had more rocks, Vince would be a trillionaire because it's The Rock.
Oh, yes.
But here's the deal. If he's not happy, it's just like the old territory days, but now it's publicized. Guys got cut because they weren't happy back in the old days, and you watch them show up in the Carolinas or show up in AWA, and they were just for Vince. But here's the deal. We don't know if he wasn't happy. Let him spend 90 days figuring out what he's going to do, maybe have some family time, come up with more of the brilliant ideas that he has.
And to be honest, you never know. He could be right back in WWE. We don't know. That's why I took the whole thing with a grain of salt about the report about.
And I also point something else like this, folks. I want to make this clear because Jesse and I both said this off camera. He didn't pay Shawn Michaels to sit at home for 4 years. He called him once a week, if not more, because he cared about him as a person. But he did not pay Shawn Michaels. He didn't keep Shawn Michaels on the books for 4 years.
No.
He let Shawn go home because it was the right thing to do. He cared about him as a human, and the payoff was Shawn came back and was arguably better in ring than he was, when he left because he was sober. But the point is this: stop being a fan who can't understand the common sense. If you think this is the wrong thing to do as a fan, don't do it. If the wrestler tells you it's okay, that's another story.
Right.
Yes.
But the fact of the matter is that you can be a fan, but understand something. Your appreciation can, in Jesse's cases, just be a simple tweet that gets responded to.
Correct.
Or it can be me waving to a wrestler outside of a car and Austin Theory's eyes going wide saying, hey, you know who I am. Thank you. like, it can be that simple. If you don't think it's right, that's probably your conscience saying this is the wrong thing to do. Now, the man that did what Jesse said earlier with Sonya Deville, that was clearly someone without conscience.
Yeah.
and deserves to go away for a very, very, very long time. So anyway,
now,
shall we get into some wrestling?
You know what? Let me get into your experience at SmackDown. Now, I unfortunately had to sell my ticket. Bills came up. Sucked to do.
Yep.
But some dad and his kid got to enjoy those tickets.
To be fair, not insulting you on this. This was the missus. This was her idea. God bless her. She's a keeper.
But hey, just think about this. In 2 weeks, we're going to be in Stillwater for a show.
That's true.
Yes, we are.
And then a week later,
we're going to be right here in our hometown. In our own backyard.
Another show.
And, I mean, Chicago looks like it's going to have SmackDown in a month or two. So
there you go.
There's a chance.
I might be willing to drive the 16 hours.
You've been to Chi-Town a few times.
Yeah, I've been to Chi-Town.
So anyway, first and foremost, let me explain something. I love my girl, but she's still a girl. We were an hour late getting out of town. We go down there, see one of my good buddies. The Bark and Bite is a wonderful little restaurant hole down there that he works in. It's a little hole in the wall place in a neighborhood of Minneapolis. It's a barbecue place, dog friendly, great food. A lot of mustard based stuff. I'm not a big mustard guy, but I loved everything on there. Smoked turkey, smoked ribs, all that kind of stuff. Fresh goddamn burnt end brisket.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
Ooh.
Good shit.
Ugh. Yeah.
Then we decided to spend a little time just walking around, doing some shopping, because, you're in the cities. There's a lot of Main Street stuff to do. Yeah. Visited some black-owned businesses. I want to make that clear because wonderful business, and they would love for me to publicize that they were what they were.
Yeah.
But great. Love my town. Love my city. Absolutely love what it is. Black Lives Matter is not dead in the cities. I want to make that very clear. It is still talked about, mentioned all the time. But anyway, so we get to the Target Center, and rule number one for anyone ever, if they say the show starts at 4:15, get to the show by 4:30. That 45 minutes will fly by.
Oh, yeah.
Standing there waiting to get in. Number two, go to the merch booth first.
Yes.
Because guess what? You don't want to do it during the show, and everybody thinks to go after the show.
Oh, God, yes.
Your seat is guaranteed.
Yeah.
Shut the hell up. Go to the merch booth. First thing as you get in the arena.
Yeah.
Your seat is guaranteed. Okay?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So.
Man, you guys had good seats, but, man, my seats were right behind commentary.
Oh.
I'm gonna get to that.
Damn.
So
that would have been nice.
So let me explain this. Number one, we get there.
Mm-hmm.
We walk to our section. Allison got floor seats for not the price of floor seats. We were about 6 inches off the ground on a ramp they set up on the concrete, and our seats were probably about $300-400 cheaper than what the seats 6 inches in front of me were. But I was allowed on the floor by security as long as I didn't go crazy. So I was on the floor for basically the whole show. So anyway, first of all, Allison's eyes did not shut the whole night.
That's awesome.
Because Allison really got to see what it goes into a show.
Yeah.
First of all, sold out. According to what a lot of people were saying, Minneapolis was second to Chicago in ticket sales.
Yeah.
So sold out show. Now, the hard camera, people don't realize this, there's actually 2 hard cameras.
Mm-hmm.
So that section is always blanketed out. No one's in that section.
Yeah.
There's a clock there with the local time.
Correct.
So the wrestlers know what their timing is.
Correct.
Larger than life, absolutely everything you could have wanted. The cameras were live. Everything was big. Michael Cole comes out to roars booze. That was great.
Oh, we love him.
Pat McAfee comes out, and the announcer for SmackDown goes, "The only man to catch a swordfish in Lake Minnetonka." Pat McAfee looked so happy to be there. During a commercial break, they had the McAfee Minute.
Okay.
And what that was basically, so you know how it came out on the internet recently that McAfee got the hometown crowd to boo Michael Cole?
Yeah.
That's what That's what the McAfee minute is. Pat is basically going to spend that minute burying Michael Cole. He's according to Pat McAfee, Michael Cole is not only the reason why Aaron Rodgers is back with the Green Bay Packers, but he also said Lake Minnetonka was the worst lake he'd ever been to. I wasn't so angry because I'll be honest, this is Minnesota. There's about 30,000 of them that you can find.
By the way, Chromos says hi.
Chromos, yes.
Yes. Very nice. What up? What up, Chromos? Chromos, please subscribe. Great gaming channel. Likes to still play Among Us. Always a good time. But anyway, so Allison and I are watching the show. The screen is gigantic. It's a great look.
Yeah. Oh, the new setup.
The new setup's great.
Yeah, I've been told.
The ring is a 20 by 20.
Okay.
So I mean, that was already up. I missed I missed the first dark match because, ladies and gentlemen, mini donuts are mini donuts.
They are delicious.
And she wanted them.
And the missus wanted the mini donuts.
They're pricey, but you always get the mini donuts.
Oh, you get the mini donuts.
You get the mini donuts.
What was a $15 bucket? It was a bucket of mini donuts.
If the better half,
that's not bad.
But Jesse, if his better half says, "I want donuts," he better get them.
Yes.
I gotta be honest, I haven't had a better half in
trouble.
6 years, so I haven't had to worry about
Exactly. It's not like you haven't gotten yourself the donuts.
it. Yeah, I get myself the donut.
Exactly. But anyway, so I missed Odyssey Jones versus Austin Theory. But again, it's a dark match, so it was pretty short. Wasn't a lot of time. I missed the entrances, but Aaliyah versus Indy Hartwell was actually a good show. Good reaction by Aaliyah, by the way.
Okay.
Aaliyah got a surprisingly very nice reaction.
Maybe Vince is onto something with her because that trade call-up I was confused by.
Also held on to her for a while.
Yeah.
So, there's that. But anyway, that was a great thing to see. The show starts with a little video package welcoming back the fans.
Of course.
I believe, for my boy Mike Mercer out there, formerly friend of the show, still a friend of the show. I believe
hope so, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, he's still a friend.
Right.
I believe the song was Still Breathing by Green Day.
Okay.
Great track off of,
Yeah.
I believe, Revolution Radio, I think it's off of. But yeah, fun little song, a lot of fun. Green Day's always done a lot with WWE. They always put out really great songs.
I'm about to say,
for that.
WWE can just do a video package.
Yeah.
They really do great job with
The
that.
production is insane at a live event. Now, by the way, I want to disparage a couple of rumors because I was there. There was me in a Darren Corbin shirt. Darren, by the way, the powder baby blue made me stand out like a sore thumb. It was great. Loved
You
it.
sent me that picture. I'm like, holy crap, that is Zach.
It's not hard to see me in a few live shots.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, I had that shirt on.
Mm-hmm.
There was an MDK, Murder, Death, Kill Gang shirt that was actually right by the rail when the wrestlers came in. I also saw a guy with an All Elite Wrestling shirt on.
Yeah.
Nobody was asked to remove the shirt. Nobody was given a new shirt. To the people who've been kicked out for those shirts, you probably were just idiots and did something else.
Yes.
Well, probably.
Okay? Because nobody was asked to remove their shirt. Nobody was told they couldn't do it. And, I saw the AEW guy for a second in line, and then I didn't see him the rest of the show. But the MDK guy was right in front of me the entire damn show.
Yeah.
Never asked to change the shirt. Everyone knew what it was. I think we almost got an MDK chant started. I got to cross so many wrestlers off my list that I never thought I'd get to cross off. Number one being Rey Mysterio. Rey live is an experience.
Yes, it is.
John Cena, never thought that was going to happen, but John's back a little bit. That was fun.
Yeah.
Dominic, by the way, Dominic is actually a really cool guy live. Dominic is actually great. Roman Reigns is not bigger live, but my God, he's chiseled live. He really is a guy who's put a lot of work into this.
He is the tribal chief. All hell the tribal chief.
Yes.
Yes.
I got a
He
lovely.
forced you guys to try to acknowledge him.
He tried. I got a lovely view of Carmella.
Oh.
She is a gorgeous lady.
Did she bend over?
Couple of times.
Oh, damn you! Where's the picture?
I actually have it. Anyway, no, the whole thing was amazing. yes, Edge only got to come out, but he got the full entrance. So me as a kid, Allison said that was probably the biggest pop I had of the night because I lost my damn mind.
It's Edge. I always when I see Edge.
We were bouncing and vibing to Sasha's music when she finally came out. We enjoyed that. Bianca's song is a banger live.
Yeah.
Allison has it on Spotify. She knows every word.
Oh yeah.
She's singing it right along with the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
That was amazing. Jesse, I am sorry. I love you. You are a friend. I watched The King, and he is as good as advertised.
I know.
There was no crown. But I want to point something out. Boogs is great live.
Yeah.
Nakamura, I don't care what anyone wants to say until you see the man in person. I don't care how short the match was. He is an experience. He is. I'll say it.
When New Japan was in Texas,
God broke the
wrestle.
mold.
He didn't wrestle.
Really?
So yeah, when we traveled, this was in his early stages of being the rock star.
Yes.
And we went down to, I think that was Dallas as well.
That seems like a Dallas show.
Yeah. And he didn't wrestle that because he didn't travel with them for that one.
Yeah.
It broke my heart. So I still haven't seen Nakamura. So yeah, and he just reminded me, he got the chance to see Nakamura. I need to see Nakamura.
I just want to point something out. I don't care if you think he's too over the top. I don't care if you don't like Japanese wrestling. They broke the mold with this guy.
Oh yeah. Yes, they did. Oh God. Yeah.
Every ounce of you can't help but watch it. And the best part about it was we were singing the song and we didn't need. And by the way, Minneapolis, shout out to you. Actually, St. Paul. So I apologize, but shout out to Minneapolis, St. Paul. You didn't need to wait a verse. We had every nuance, every beat down. We sang that the whole time. It was great. That man was born to be a star, and here's the deal, folks. Whether you like what WWE has done or not, he was meant to come to WWE because he's too big for Japan. I'm sorry. If the Ace is the best in-ring talent, he is above the Ace when it comes to just that persona. He is a god.
Though we'll see what happens because they'll be in Los Angeles August 14th.
Can I just point something out? Because I just have to say this.
All right.
You want to find the closest thing on this earth to Freddie Mercury? It's Shinsuke Nakamura. I'm not even kidding.
All right. I'll have to go with that.
Because Shinsuke controls a crowd in ways that Freddie might have even had some pointers.
I think the reaction that I was shocked by from you guys down there was, of course, there was the contract signing.
There was.
You guys kept chanting for John Cena.
We did.
With Finn Balor in the ring.
Allison wasn't.
Well, of course she wasn't.
Allison was not. Allison.
By the way, Allison, to let you know once again, I still have those contacts. I have looked up the price. I'm just saying he's still on Cameo. So I'm just throwing that out there.
Allison, as much as she loved the fact that Sonya Deville was in the ring with Finn Balor at the same time. Allison, by the way, okay, jumping ahead, we actually did the old fan thing. We waited outside for the wrestlers' cars. Allison's body went limp when Sonya blew her a kiss.
Aww.
Allison could have died happy right there. Could not have been nicer about it, by the way. Sonya couldn't have. Absolute, just amazing woman. Yeah. Here's the deal. Allison got so mad at Paul Heyman because Paul Heyman stepped into her view direct sight at Finn Balor. Her direct shot at Finn Balor from where we were sitting was blocked by that walrus of a man, and she was not happy.
Damn you, Paul.
Now, I want to point something out because it was on Twitter. It was on Twitter and Reddit later on. So Edge shows up. Does the entrance. By the way, we didn't know the pyro was coming out, so that kind of got us. We were also only about 30 feet from the pyro. When Seth was sitting there trying to give his promo, if you listen closely, and I don't think it was hard, Allison and I started a "We Want Becky" chant.
Nice.
That got very loud. And at one point, when it got loud, Seth actually did get a little quiet. But I got to cross Seth off my list. I got to cross, and it was actually funny. During the commercial break, Sami Zayn actually came out
Oh.
And he said it is a travesty, but I have just been informed I am not on tonight's show. Then Kevin Owens' music hits, and I lose my damn shit. Because there's the Elstein rule right there.
Yes, it is.
And he just stuns him and walks away, and I'm like, all right, I'm good. I'm good. Good night, everybody. We're good. But by the way, okay, so to kill a few more rumors, the wrestlers would come out. Oh, by the way, while we were waiting for the wrestlers, after the show to the cars, I want to make this very clear, especially to Gene. Gene, I don't know if you're watching. Jay was driving. Jimmy was in the
that was a good thing, yes.
Jimmy was in the passenger seat.
Good.
But anyway.
No problems in Minneapolis.
No.
Anyway, so the Usos came out for the first match. It was Jimmy versus Ray. Now, people have been saying on the internet that during the commercial breaks, the wrestlers would just stop mid-match and the lights would go down. I don't know if that's true or not. When commercial would hit, they would entertain us, they would sell merch, they would do a couple of fun things, but the lights did go down so that we focus on the screen. But never once did the lights go down mid-match. So I have not watched the show yet, but any match that had a commercial break did not stop.
Okay, yeah.
Never happened.
I was about to say they used to just if they had if it was, especially if it was what they would do during commercial breaks most of the time, that's when you got the rest holds. That's when you usually knew as a fan, like, commercial.
Right. But the thing about it was that what they would do is when the Usos would come out, the music was playing, you guys went to commercial, don't really know what point you went to commercial yet. Now, the Usos were still in the ring, the lights were down, there was a little video package, and then as soon as they were ready to come back to commercial, they'd turn the Uso music back on mid-song.
Yeah.
So then they would come back, and the lights would come back up, and then the Usos would play it back up.
Yeah.
So the rumors do not believe them until you've been in the arena.
Yeah.
No match was ever stopped. No match was ever darkened because of something. Okay? The matches went on without a hitch.
Well, listen, man, remember, they tried the whole 2 out of 3 falls thing for a while there, and that went horribly. I think Vince learned his lesson.
Yes. So the thing about it is that they are so tight. They are so precise. They are so into what they're doing. By the way, my new favorite character on SmackDown is the guy who walked through the Reggie interview. That was hilarious. That actually happened, by the way.
Great.
Some dude just walked through it.
Oh, the whole audience just reacted to the fact that a dude opens the curtain to the gorilla position and then saw the camera, was like, ooh, and then just walks away. Literally just like, oh, shit. Reggie is an experience live. They have a star in him. He also broke the French accent on WWE exclusive.
I heard about that.
Yes. SmackDown WWE exclusive. He's from St. Louis, Missouri. He's sort of dropping the act now. Unlike Lana, who just dropped it, he actually kind of gave a reason, which was Carmella asked me to be French, so I went along with it just to have my chance to be a member of the WWE Universe.
Yeah.
But I probably had one of the funniest lines that was never heard when he flipped from the floor into the ring. And for anyone wondering, there was no trampoline.
Wow.
Oh, really?
He did that.
Wow. That's fucking impressive. I could have sworn there was a trampoline when I saw that.
Now, here's the deal. Now, again, we may not have been able to see it.
Because Sin Cara had one.
Yeah, here's the deal.
Sorry, Botch Cara had one.
It's funny you say that because as soon as he landed, I was like, Sin Cara, that's how it's done. Anyway, but no, all I want to say is this. We couldn't necessarily see that area, but the crowd popped when he did it, number one.
Well, that was insane.
Number two, no production guys ran through after he got in the ring. So nobody ran to clear the trampoline. If I'm wrong, please prove me wrong. But as far as we reacted, that was from floor to the ring.
That's insane athleticism.
That is good. Even Kofi had a comment about
He is former Cirque du Soleil.
Oh my god.
I want to point that out. He is former Cirque du Soleil.
Did you see Kofi had a comment about that?
I did not see Kofi's comment.
Yeah, Kofi had a comment about that. He goes, yeah, I had this thing where I had a Jamaican accent.
Yeah.
And it kind of disappeared. Yeah,
but
he
anyway,
understands how you go in there.
Everyone was great. Everyone was on their A game. It was a lot of fun to watch. Sasha got a great pop when she came back. Bianca's song is a lot of fun live. You'll be able to stand up and have some fun with it.
I still can't believe that woman did not get a reaction in front. Well, then I think about it, I'm like, they were all high at Rolling Loud, so never mind.
By the way, this is the second time I've seen Bianca Belair live.
She's very good.
She was a surprise. She was a surprise at the NXT show that Jason and I were at.
Yep.
She was not advertised, but she was there.
Yeah.
Well, that's they call it.
Yeah.
Subject to change.
Everyone was so gracious. Target Center is one of the nicest arenas in all of pro sports. Yeah. Security was great. Everyone was very kind.
Damn shame the Timberwolves can't win more there.
Yeah, well.
But we digress.
Yeah, well.
I've seen a couple concerts there. Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah. Well, I'll be back for another show that Jesse will hate me for, My Chemical Romance.
Oh, no, please go. I'm done with them.
I could never be done.
I am done with them.
The music will always be great. Anyway, but anyway, okay, you'll be mad at this. We saw Elton John there, so I mean.
Okay, now that's a little. I'm jealous of that.
Even Leroy's mad about that one.
I'm a little jealous. Yes, I would love to see
that. That was also the fiance's idea, by the way. She paid for that whole show. $938.
You're blessed to have that woman.
Damn straight. But no, all right. Now, the TV main event goes off. For those of you that don't know, the TV main event goes off.
Yeah.
Then they go out, they walk out, we give our boos, yada, yada. Then the announcement team leaves. The announcer then says, the next match is your main event for the evening. Which, of course, on this tour is
John Cena,
Rey Mysterio, and Dominic Mysterio versus the Bloodline.
The Bloodline.
I really wish this was live, only because the aesthetic of Roman walking out with Paul holding the Universal title and the Usos holding the tag titles up is like the old school boxing entrance, and it's so cool to watch. It literally looks like Roman is just the man in that moment. Roman was also in the match for all of 30 seconds. Which is good because because once again he's proving he doesn't need to work right now.
No.
Okay, he's okay. By the way, funny story, Allison, so limited on shirts. They didn't have a lot of individual shirts. They had some of the bigger wrestlers' shirts, and they had some local shirts, live tour shirts. Allison bought Roman's arm gear, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Did not acknowledge him. She took them off when he came out, but she bought the gear.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, no, absolutely amazing show. Main event was great. Ray is as crisp as ever. Oh, yeah. Dominic is actually coming along great. Love watching Dominic go live. But then what I thought was also kind of funny, now gets into our realm of the world, the ending of the show. So John, by the way, Cal, who we've had on the show, his friend's son was the one that John signed the belt for.
Oh, that's awesome.
After the show.
Sweet.
Cal has a video and picture of it.
That's awesome.
John was as gracious as John could be, talked to everybody, had fun. They leave. So the production guys in the headsets, I think this is like a little like routine they have or whatever. I forget the name of the announcer for SmackDown. It escapes me at the moment, but there was a moment where.
Is it Tony Chimmel?
No. Not anymore, it's not. I forget his name.
Okay.
But anyway, he had the microphone. He was ready to say...
Mike.
Yep.
Mike something.
Something, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he had the mic. He was about to say, thank you, everyone, for coming. They did this thing where 2 or 3 production guys by the announce table sort of put their arms out to one side, and then they threw something at him. They didn't throw anything for real, but he just flew back, and then he said, thank you all for coming. So it was like a little, match routine. Yeah. Charles Robinson, referee Charles Robinson in jean shorts is an image I will never forget as long as I live. Charles took down the ring ropes.
Wow.
Charles Robinson jumped in the ring, loosened them, took the hooks off, and by the way, they put them away the same way we do. They all go to one end. You tie them up. But watching them tear down the ring, I'm like, great, I don't have to do it for once.
Thank God.
I was not allowed to network while we were down there. I'm sorry, Jesse. The missus did not allow for that.
I scolded him already, and I'm going to have to scold her for it. Come on, we need to network. We need to get bigger.
It was about having fun with my girl.
Of course.
It was a tremendous show.
That's why I was supposed to go.
So you can network.
So I can network.
Yep.
We'll do that in a couple weeks.
Maybe get hit by Roman Reigns for
there
going, listen, I need you on the show. And then he laughs at me.
So here's the deal, folks. If you have an opportunity to go, I'm not asking you to break the bank.
That show wasn't too bad. Like I said, the tickets I were going to
The tickets were actually not bad.
Only 180 for where I was going to be.
The tickets that we were looking for was
all.
definitely something.
Yeah.
But it's just, if you have an opportunity to go, folks, this goes back to our whole don't hate on the wrestling business conversation from early on. I don't care what show you like. I don't care what wrestler you support. There is nothing like live WWE television tapings.
Not at all.
Oh, yeah.
They are crisp. They are clean. Everything is robotic, but it's not. Everything is down to a T, but it feels so natural.
I keep saying, man, if AEW came to like the U of M Stadium for the basketball team down there, I would go.
The barn.
Yeah,
the barn.
I would go.
Yeah.
Because it's a wrestling show.
Yeah.
I might not love all of it.
No.
But I'm going to go because I love wrestling, and I just want to see some good matches every now and then and have some fun.
Folks.
And enjoy it.
Folks, here's the deal.
Until Kenny Omega comes out. Otherwise.
I would boo the piss out of him.
Here's the deal.
I wouldn't even boo him. I'd just stare at him. And they would probably put the camera at me because they'd be like, oh, he just doesn't like it.
Here's the deal, though. You will let yourself go in ways you didn't think.
It's a great time.
You will lose yourself in the immersive experience.
Yeah.
You will. It's so much fun. You get to do what you want, and like I said, folks, as long as you're respectful of the arena and WWE, and you allow them to take their job seriously, you're not going to have a bad time.
No.
You're not. It's an absolute joy. There's nothing like live entertainment, period.
Yeah.
But Vince, this is why Vince is as great as he is. He makes it an experience. And everyone says Vince doesn't care about the fans. But remember, there's a TV main event, and then there's a real main event. He's running two shows at the same time.
Right.
He understands he has a television show to produce.
Yeah.
But he also doesn't forget there's a live audience, so you are rewarded for paying your hard-earned money for tickets.
Exactly.
You are given love by Vince
Yeah.
for doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
So all I can say is nothing against your old PWG shows, but just this was an experience like no other.
Oh, like I was saying when you were
everyone needs to get a chance.
When you're first getting into it, like I said, there's nothing like going to see a WWE show, man.
And by the way, little insider trading here. Wear a brightly colored shirt. More chance you'll see yourself.
Yeah, that does help. Yes.
A lot of people thought it was a New Day shirt, but that's just the.
Well, that's
just how that shirt goes.
That's the reason for the design.
Well, there was a unicorn on.
Yes,
there
was.
It's ripped in half.
Ripped in half with the Happy Tree Friend woodland creatures around. But yes, I recommend doing it. It's an absolute joy, and I also recommend just go enjoy the show.
For sure.
Have fun. Please be safe. Be smart about your surroundings, and also remember, don't ruin it for the people around you.
Right.
Because everyone's there to just have a good time.
Oh yes.
Okay, but it is the closest thing I think you'll get to the old school '80s rock shows that were just the production was insanity on those shows.
Oh yeah.
But yes, ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy yourself. Go do it. There's nothing like it. Any questions about it, boys, that you might have or anything like that? But because
no, but I'm just pissed I had to sell my tickets.
Yeah, it's fair.
Jesse, we got to get the show. Leave him home.
Yeah,
we'll go see the
that
fucking
works.
show.
That works.
Hey! I'll be honest. I didn't necessarily hate, the show, but I didn't like getting home at 1 a.m.
I was gonna maybe go to All Out, but the problem is people bought the tickets to scalp them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta love those people.
But anyway,
God,
it's interesting. I think we need to sort of at this show, as it was sort of said, Sasha Banks is back.
Mm-hmm.
Can't love to have her back.
Yeah.
And she is now the only person we're allowed to call the Big Show because there's no more BS. Big Sasha, maybe we'll go with that. It's
Sasha Biggs.
Sasha Banks. Banks Sasha. The Banks.
Big Sasha Banks has a different connotation to it, so probably not.
Fair enough.
Bless you.
Why you say that? Because
he sneezed to avoid the laugh.
But I also want to say this: Sasha's a great heel, though.
Oh, she's a phenomenal heel.
That's all I can say about it.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Sasha and Bianca. I wouldn't mind seeing that again. That was actually a really. I
figured they were going to do this at SummerSlam.
Yep.
I mean, there's rumors that when Becky comes back, she'll be on SmackDown. I hope not. Raw almost damn sure needs her back.
Becky bet me on this, and you'll probably take the bet and be on my side. Becky comes back, that's at least 300,000 people minimum a week, more.
For watching the show, absolutely.
They'll average that more just for her being
back.
Yes.
We keep making bet. We got to make a bet box and have fun with that.
Yeah.
Well, this one
that could be dangerous.
There's no bet to lose because I'm on his side. There's just no chance that they don't do more viewership with her back.
To stay in the realm of WWE, we have a few things here. Joe is back.
Yes.
Because I guarantee Paul was the one who said we're not doing this again. I guarantee Paul Levesque said something about this.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait to see it. I think that Karrion Kross, I think people have kind of accepted the Jeff Hardy thing as maybe, and especially Joe, I think, will probably spin it at some point that you don't, but okay, here's the deal though. This is why the Jeff thing kind of fits better.
Well, it's funny though, because remember, Jeff and Joe just had that great little rivalry.
They did, yes.
Where he just got on his alcoholism. Like people, it's so underrated, him interrupting Jeff's match while he's at a bar. Hey, Jeff. I am at a bar having a drink. I'm sorry, that's something you can't do.
Right, yeah. But no. People forget this little rivalry started with Joe looking Regal in the face and saying, and I quote, "Did you know about his field trip to Raw?"
Yeah.
But it also began earlier. Not the rivalry, but the whole thing started when Joe looked at him and said, "Tick-tock, young champion." So, if anything, call it what it is. It's a guy getting over cocky because Jeff's still a 20-year veteran.
Yeah.
Let's not take away from who Jeff Hardy is.
Yeah.
Okay? So, I think they'll be able to spin it better than I think people were thinking in the moment.
Yeah.
Well, I also didn't hate it.
Well, because people overuse the word burial.
Can I also say this? It'd be one thing if he lost to someone who wasn't. Are we going to not act like he didn't lose to Jeff Hardy?
Well, because people are like, well, Jeff just lost to the big guy, Veer, on main event.
Shanky. Shanky's the big
guy. Veer's the bigger one.
No, he's
the
not.
Huskier one.
No. Veer's
Shanky's the tall one.
Yeah, tall one.
But Veer is who beat Veer, the larger guys who want to beat Jeff on main event.
Yeah.
So people correlated that to, well, Jeff's nothing. Jeff's still a legend.
Oh, yes.
Jeff has had that feud going on with Jinder on main event for a while now, guys. So you trying to spin that into burying the NXT champion.
By the way, no main event or 205 Live taping.
205 Live is done on NXT.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming main event is done on Raw.
Yeah. But anyway, no.
Which, oh my God, you poor fans. You get an hour of a decent show. And then, you're just hoping as you're in at a Raw show, you're like, oh, please let this be good. Oh, please let them do something decent. Oh, Charlotte's the first thing out. Fuck.
Yeah,
before we get to that,
I guess we'll boo her. Boo. Did you see those unenthusiastic boos on Monday night?
Yeah.
Boo.
Did you?
Boo.
Now, I'll say this much. To a women's title picture we actually care about, how about the stab in the back from Dakota Kai?
It was coming.
It finally happened.
It was coming.
And you want to know the best part?
It was fun.
And you want to know the best part? For the most part, if you've watched NXT, unlike most of you AEW fans, if you've actually watched the better show for the last year, it kind of came out of nowhere.
In a sense,
it did.
But you knew it was coming.
No. You knew it. But on camera, it was kind of a shocker.
It was shot really well.
Yeah.
It was.
Because she
crazy.
kind of finally kicked her in the face as she was coming up from celebrating. After she just cut a promo supporting her friend. And she very much so Triple H her way into assaulting her. Because that's a Triple H assault.
Oh, that's a Triple H assault all day long.
Oh, man, you're celebrating.
So...
The next thing you know, sledgehammer right to your face.
Your camera froze.
Oh, did it? Oh, we're good now.
Is it back yet? Okay.
But so it's one
Maybe
of
your computer just sucks.
No, it's mine.
No.
Mine actually went down to like 1 bar for a second.
All
It's
right.
back up.
But anyway.
But yeah, so it was. I think Triple H almost probably set this one up. Like, I've done so many of these backstabbing things.
Exactly.
Let me help you set this one up.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the deal. If Dakota Kai is just made to be somewhat... Here's the deal. I actually believe that Dakota Kai can be competitive with Raquel.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So if they let her, this is going to be gold on a freaking silver platter.
Oh, yeah.
It's just...
Definitely.
There's no way that as long as you just let these two women do their thing, there's no way that they're going to screw it up.
No.
I agree.
No way.
I totally agree.
Literally, you can't screw it up.
Yeah.
Thatcher, Ciampa versus Lorcan and Dunn. Ladies and gentlemen, if I can't get Ilya versus Walter until TakeOver, this was a nice palate cleanser.
Oh, God,
this
yeah, it
was gold.
If you like watching dudes beat the shit out of each other.
Do you want to say
and
your
enjoy it.
Vince line?
Enjoy
this is meaty men slapping meat on meaty men and just getting beat down. Oh, it was so good.
So good.
And they had a smile on their face when they were getting beaten.
I was so mad.
And when they were beating somebody.
Because people were like, why did you get mad at this match? I'm like, because damn it, Triple H, if you're going to give me this on free television, just give it to me for an hour. Like, let these dudes just slap the shit out of each other for an hour.
What?
I agree.
This hurts in so many ways.
But it hurts so good.
Oh, God, was this great. Who would have ever thought, and actually looking back, it's
I forgot I was watching NXT. I thought it was New Japan when I was watching this.
I know.
I'm like, oh wait, this is not Minoru Suzuki and Okada. Let me back up.
Who would have ever thought, and actually looking back, it's stupid to think that this wouldn't work. Who would have thought Thatcher and Ciampa would be the greatest thing on television for about 20 minutes?
Oh man!
Oh my God, was this good?
Oh yeah.
And the thing about it is,
I keep telling people, don't let. So Jim Cornette a lot. It's the one big thing I always have a disagreement about.
Yeah.
He talks about the size of the guys. He's like, all these guys are small.
Yeah.
But these guys are all technical wrestlers.
Yes.
They just hit hard as shit. They're small,
God, yeah.
but they hit hard.
And by the way, can I point something out? The fourth wheel in this match, Lorcan was not lost in this match.
Oh no.
Oni kept up his end of the bargain in this match.
Oh, he always will.
1,000 ways to Sunday.
Oh, he always will.
I love me some Oni Lorcan, always have. He's had great matches with people. But goddamn, is Pete Dunne not a star? Is Pete Dunne just not a star?
Oh, yes.
He is just, I love me some Pete Dunne.
WWE couldn't have me as the writer because this would be my main event on Raw. I'd be like 30 minutes
that's all right.
in my show. Just go slap meat. Just go slap meat. Because the crowd.
If you brought it to Vince like that, he might actually go for it, though.
People like, wait, they're going to slap meat for 30 minutes? I'll put these guys on. I'll let these guys go.
That's some good shit right
Oh, that's good shit. Look at the crowd. They love the violence. This is good shit. Oh, this is a good night. Oh, it was so fucking good. Oh, my God.
I know.
I have nothing else to say.
Ciampa, please. Just stay at least 3 to 4 more years, please.
He's not going anywhere.
He's talked about leaving maybe next year.
I know.
Please, just stay.
Oh,
yeah,
oh my
keep
God.
going.
And here's the biggest reason why I want him to stay. You deserve to be on a stage this big.
Yeah.
It's not that you won't do well somewhere else, but if you ain't going to go to Japan, please just stay.
Oh my
I agree.
It's so good.
As soon as they announced this match, I'm like Triple H, just give me 40 minutes. Just give me 40 minutes of this triple. Just give me 4. He only gave us 22.
Yeah, it was 22 minutes.
So I'm being a whiny baby, but listen, this should have been. I almost thought it should have been a minute, but it's cool.
Once again, I'm sorry, you're not gonna find a better show than first of all, SmackDown's the A show, and
SmackDown's clearly A show.
But outside of SmackDown, which right now you can't touch with a 39.5-foot pole, it's public domain Christmas music. I'm allowed to use it.
All right.
But ladies and gentlemen, you can't touch NXT.
No.
top to bottom, that show is gold. The black and gold brand is oil and solid 24 karat gold. It is
great.
It is money. It is a license to print it.
Yes.
And don't give me this crap about Vince doesn't care about it. Vince probably doesn't worry much about it, but Vince is a businessman. He sees what's going on.
I would hope so.
Well, I am very much enjoying the LA Knight Cameron Grimes.
Oh God!
Ongoing.
Did we not predict this would be the best part of the show?
Yeah.
Did we not say that this was going to be the best thing on NXT?
Yep.
I still
this is effing gold, and you can't touch this.
I love
with any this.
Cameron's great.
This is.
I love the first one. He's standing there.
Can we just?
What are you doing? I'm cleaning your balls.
Can we just Elstein the promos by these guys? Can we Elstein the vignettes?
They're so
just
good.
watch them. They're so good.
They're funny. They're so funny.
But hold on.
And I give Beth Phoenix so much credit because after each one, her commentary is gold.
She's done with it, but she's so into it. It's so great. But I just want to say something. But this is the thing. It's funny, but it's not tongue-in-cheek, ha-ha funny.
Yeah.
It's not wink at the camera funny. It's just fun. It's just enjoyable. I love it. I just go watch all the vignettes. They are great.
Yes, that's true.
Now we have to get to a place that I cannot believe I'm about to say this, but ladies and gentlemen, go buy a Domino's pizza because boy, do they deserve it after what they went through. So now we move into
they were genuinely pissed at that
They
match.
were not happy.
They were genuinely like, we will never allow a commercial
ladies
to
and
play in front
gentlemen,
of your show again.
we have to talk about AEW once again for all the wrong reasons. But number one, ladies and gentlemen, I don't care if you're. I don't care if.
Let's talk about the end.
No, stop.
I'm saying the last match.
Yeah, no.
Because if I had to talk about the Young Bucks at
first, I'm
going to lose my shit.
I don't care if you are a Michael Jordan or a LeBron guy. All of you must band together and say this was the most embarrassing thing for Space Jam ever. Because, by the way, you didn't even... You, Tony Khan, who will license the Pixies for... Orange, you will license a movie song instead of the original.
I'm sorry I backed away from the camera. I got to breathe before I do this. Continue.
You didn't even by the way, Tony, you didn't even license Space Jam. You licensed the Jock Jam song. You didn't even get the right song. And by the way, did Kenny Omega not look like a dad trying to play basketball with his kids? Mind you, the Young Bucks are about as small as his children.
Oh, I'm about to go in.
But
that's true.
This 10-man match may have been the most embarrassing thing they've done.
A 10-man match?
It was a 10-man tag team match.
10-man
elimination tag match.
Tag match.
And Leroy, Chris Jericho faced Nick Gage on this show. We haven't even gotten to that. But we got to get to maybe the most embarrassing thing they've ever done on television. Jesse, would you like the mic?
Go for it.
Jesse, would you like the mic?
This is what I'm talking about with the Young Bucks. This is what I'm talking about with them. They are a meme. They are an embarrassment to the business, not because they're bad guys, but everything is a meme to them. Everything. So they botched a spot. This pissed me off so bad it took me out the rest of the match. They botched a spot. It happens. You know what these asswipes did? Because they were supposed to do the Meltzer dunk on Hangman outside the thing with the basketball and the stupid freaking hoop that shouldn't even have freaking been at ringside. Go ahead, interrupt me for a second.
Can I also point something out? They can't even dribble a fucking basketball. That was so bad.
Jay, welcome to the chat, man. Thank you for coming in.
What up, Jay? What up, man?
Jay.
What up?
These imbeciles, so they botch it. This idiot Nick.
Before we get to the botch, seriously, what took me out was not even that. What took me out was the dribbling. Kenny Omega can't even dribble a fucking basketball. That was the most embarrassing crossover I've ever seen in my life.
Is he supposed to be an athlete?
I don't know what he's supposed to be in this moment.
Maybe he's trying to be an athlete.
They couldn't have played.
I don't know.
Daffy Duck as the coach had better handles.
Daffy Duck, Grandma from the damn
Grandma
Looney
could do
Tunes.
better.
Listen, man. Listen. Guys. Guys, this is the only thing Jim Cornette is right about. It's the only thing he's right
the
about when it comes to the Young
Monstars
Bucks.
from the original Space Jam, before they stole the basketball talent, could handle a basketball better than Kenny Omega did live on Dynamite.
I get you botched the spot. God. It happens. Move on. You know what these idiots do? He looks at the camera and he dunks the ball, and then he goes, "Well, that's how it was supposed. We knew how it was supposed to go. It clearly didn't work out. Why are you tongue in cheek? What? And it's screwed up because I love the entrance. The Dark Order entrance with Hangman was awesome.
Oh, fantastic!
I'm like, he almost finally feels a part of the group.
Yeah,
this feels right.
And surprisingly, they were the least tongue-in-cheek thing. But again, compared to the Young Bucks, that's not hard to do.
And then Kenny Omega.
Oh God, we gotta talk about
guys.
This.
I call him the worst champion in professional wrestling because a part of me still believes that there's a lot of greatness there from what I've seen in New Japan.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe myself anymore. I feel like I'm a person in a marriage that's lying to themselves to keep the marriage going.
It almost makes you not want to have it.
First off, get rid of the mullet. This is not the 80s. I'm sick of seeing the damn hair. Get rid of the mullet. It's embarrassing on Impact, where they have better production. It's embarrassing here. Okay? You're the worst champion. You never want to get in the ring with people. There's a way to do the chicken shit heel. He does it wrong.
Yeah.
He does it horribly wrong.
By the way, to quote Jim Cornette, isn't the man and maybe I said this before, isn't the manager supposed to look like a bum? Not the wrestler?
Yeah. Also,
Charles Robinson in jean shorts was at least at the end of the show. Kenny looks like he just got out of a shower in his clothes.
Here's the worst thing.
Why does he have a headband now?
You want to talk about WWE?
Why does he have a headband?
Why does he have a headband? Why does Kenny need a headband?
Because he's a freaking idiot.
Okay.
Yeah.
The wrestling character is a freaking idiot. Let me. Here's the worst part. You want to talk about booking?
Yes.
Why was Heyman forced to take on the Elite? That's not a good story. He's already beaten the Young Bucks multiple occasions.
Yep.
I can see if he eliminates the Young Bucks, but then Kenny gets him at the end.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
But no.
But this is your Booker of the Year. This is your Booker of the Year.
The Young Bucks cannot give shine to anybody else. It can't happen.
Nope.
It cannot be done. This is what I'm talking about with them. I'm finally at the
I
point.
watched two guys with one of the weirdest American accents I still can't place where the accent is from. But it's some Delaware, West Virginia accent that doesn't exist anywhere but in that little tiny square foot mile. But two dudes had a fight on a chicken farm, and it was less bullshit than this. What did I just say, Jesse?
Dude, they ruined...
What just came out of my mouth? I watched two dudes, one of them whose literal nickname is Chicken. They had a more serious fight on a chicken farm with their dad, who's the least serious human being I've ever seen, but God is he money. And
well, he is serious.
The chicken fight was a more serious moment than a live show on TNT local cable access television.
I know the Bucks can do better. I don't think they give a shit. So here it is.
They're getting their money.
Here it is. I'm going to tweet well, I can't tweet to Matt because he blocked me. I am going to tweet to Nick Jackson.
I think they have a new account, by the way.
You are free to come on the show because
they don't know me. I can get them.
Guys like Zach were very big fans of you back in the day. Back then, I was always like, they're a decent tag team. They've aligned themselves with a great like AJ Styles, so I can get behind that. I don't know. And it's one of those things where like you should be doing better. You choose not to. You want to be a meme.
And by the way,
want to be tongue-in-cheek.
And by the way, I give as much love to my favorite color commentator in the business, Matt Stryker. I do. I love him. I wish WWE had kept him and Todd Grisham together. They were great together.
They were great together.
But here's the deal. There is no, and Jesse being a true New Japan mark. Yeah, you are.
I
sir.
am.
You are. There is no dispute of who the leader of Bullet Club is. Even in Japan, there is no dispute.
Oh, yeah.
Tama Tonga does not want to be the leader. He's made that very clear many times. Bad Luck Fale, as you've pointed out, he is just the general.
Yes.
He is loyal to BC, and that is all he will be loyal to.
That's all he cares about.
okay, I know we already talked about the interview involving the King Switch.
Yes.
I watched it again. I watched it, without the fanfare. I watched it without the internet fanfare. I watched it without the. I watched it. That man is the smoothest motherfucker on the planet right now.
Yes.
He is not only everything that he said he was. He is, to quote everything, the last rock and roller.
Yeah.
He is the coolest guy in the entire building. He is the best looking dude in a leather jacket you'll find. He is the only Grand Slam champion.
True.
He is the unquestioned leader of a new era of Bullet Club, where the standard is as high as it may have ever been. And that's no offense to Prince Devitt.
Yeah.
But that
Prince Devitt started it. AJ really raised the bar. Then Kenny. But Jay White brought it back.
To be fair, no offense to you, you just turned yourself into a meme. In the sense that it's that meme of Prince Devitt, Bullet Club is awesome. AJ sells more t-shirts than ever. Kenny, blank. Jay White, awesome. But no, just
don't worry.
Can I point something out? Don Callis in that interview.
I'm gonna make a Twitter account for us so we can have.
All right, there we go.
Shit.
I want them on the show.
Don Callis.
I need to know.
Don Callis in that interview, and I said it last week, but I didn't go into it. He waited 30 seconds too long to take the jacket off.
Yes.
Kenny's whole hold him back when even the Good Brothers weren't holding him back. By the way, what fan in that arena was afraid of Don Callis jumping the rail?
Nobody.
I wouldn't be afraid.
Kenny had no bass. Jay White was whispering and there was more bass.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
You hear the phone sex voice?
What the hell is the phone sex voice with Kenny Omega? He never cut promos like that in New Japan.
I know.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know.
What, dude, you're a Canadian. You speak English very damn well. What is this? You're not getting blown while you're on TV.
But what also was crazy was
he's
go
just
back.
Missionary. That's all he is.
No. See,
Not
John
even good
Cena
enough
could get
for
away with being missionary
for 20 years.
So
Damn right.
Kenny Omega right now is the lazy hand job you didn't want.
That's pretty much it.
That's what he is.
Yeah. But here's the deal.
Wow.
Here's the deal. No, I'm serious. Leroy.
Where you
Leroy,
almost make her stop and you just go.
Go back
Finish
and
yourself.
Leroy,
Yeah.
go back and watch it. The full thing on YouTube, on Impact's YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Go watch it because here's the deal. Jay not only has a comeback for everything, it was great. Here's the deal. That promo looked like he had practiced it 40 times, but you knew it was off the cuff.
Jay White is just a natural. Listen.
My favorite part was when he goes, seriously, my favorite part, and here's the deal. You don't catch it the first time, and you wouldn't have caught it live, was when he goes, I'm also here to say hello to Bullet Club's greatest fans. And it was not the Impact Zone.
No.
It was the Bucks and Kenny.
Yeah.
Yep.
Actually, it was the Good Brothers and Kenny, because not even Impact wants the Bucks on their show.
Which is smart.
But the thing is that Jay White, in that promo, he not only had a comeback for everything. You know how Jim Cornette always gets mad at AEW because they're always like, okay, who did you get in touch with the lighting guy? Why is the music being hit for a run-in? Blah, blah, blah. WWE does it too. It does, whatever. I mean, it's things that don't seem realistic.
Yeah.
Jay White, I don't think anyone has been that authentic since The Rock, and I'm serious.
No, I don't think so.
Because Jay was so smooth. He was so crisp. He was so clean. And to just sit there and look at Don and be like, you don't even work here. Didn't you get fired?
Yeah, that was just
because he paused. He was like, I gotta agree with them. You don't even work here. You got fired.
and by the way, okay, as far as I'm concerned, if you were a wrestling fan and you love promos, the moment that actually sells everything is literally the first words out of his mouth. It's because, first of all, he waits 30 seconds to hear King Switch get chanted, and then he just grabs the mic. He makes you see that beautiful, never open weight belt. Mm-hmm. He knows where the camera is, and he sits there, he takes the microphone and goes, I'm sorry, where are my manners? I haven't even properly introduced myself. And I'm just like, from that moment, he will have you hooked.
Unlike the breathy promo.
Oh, God, was this bad.
Unlike Mr. Profusely Sweat for no reason.
Is that why he's got the sweatband over his head? Because all he does is sweat from
maybe that is.
Have we discovered this?
I used to think Bobby Lashley was a sweaty man.
Yes.
Kenny Omega might be worse.
The problem is there's not enough meat on Kenny's bones for Vince to care. Oh, God.
So, from the terrible World Heavyweight Championship division that we've already talked about for AEW, let's move on.
I want to point something out.
Okay.
I love deathmatch wrestling.
Yeah.
In the sense that if you find good deathmatch wrestling, GCW does a good show.
Yeah.
CZW, we already talked about, legendary at it.
CZW, though, like I said, if you go watch some of it, it's not going to be for you.
No, but here's the thing. This was, and I hate to say it, this was the lowest point in Nick Gage's career. Not his life, his career. Fine.
Yeah, he's got to get a
fine,
paycheck or something,
a bank-addicted drug robber or batter, as we'll call him now, because Jim is now he just shortened it to batter.
All right.
Here's the deal. This is not his world. National television is not his world. Not actually hurting someone is not his world. Doing a Jericho version of it is not his world. The Painmaker and Nick Gage did not belong in the same ring.
Thank you.
Yeah. Also, I want to point something out. Before we get to the funny part of this, we have to describe the match. Number one, and Jim Cornette finally said it, is somebody who's booking this a 1990s WCW mark? And we'll get to that in a moment, too. But Chris Jericho, the labors of Jericho, we must say. The first one was Shawn Spears. Fine. Yeah. Inner Circle, Pinnacle, we get it. Shawn Spears can use a chair. You can't. I don't hate that. But the death match was second? What's Nick Gage doing that you couldn't book him 3 weeks from now?
And the next one is Hooven.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
It's backwards, though.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
That's what they like to do.
No, that's what I'm saying. You couldn't get Nick Gage 5 weeks from now when Nick Gage is still, for the one night he's there, and the dental insurance that Britt Baker's going to take care of.
I did love that people were like, clearly he went to get that free dental from Britt Baker.
But here's the deal. This situation, Nick Gage, and here's the deal. This is the other problem, and I have to get mad about this, even though I've watched it twice.
Twice?
You're going to fucking bury Brian Pillman Jr. when his daddy's episode of Dark Side of the Ring was so fucking good. But sadly, the lowest rated Dark Side of the Ring episode ever was the Nick Gage episode. But that guy gets featured? I'm sorry. What the fuck are you doing?
They don't know what
you will bury the son of a man who, regardless of what his in-ring career became, is a legendary name.
Yes.
For his overall career, not just his WWE work.
For everything.
Nick Gage did not deserve that spot over Brian Pillman Jr.
No.
End of conversation.
No.
End of story. But they did it because GCW was the hottest thing on Twitter because of what Matt Cardona did. I get it. Capitalize on what you were doing. That's fine. Guys, the fact that it is so embarrassing that Brian Pillman Jr. is stuck right now, and no offense to Griff Garrison, but I'm going to say it. He's stuck with you right now when he clearly should be rocketing somewhere.
Probably.
If you want to come along for the ride, Griff, that's fine. But they should have shot him straight to Kenny. Even if he lost, at least make him look good.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is this.
That's questionable if they make him look good.
No. You should have taken the Brian Pillman episode, both of them.
Yes.
And you should have shot Brian Pillman Jr. to the goddamn moon. To the moon! Anyway. This is embarrassing, and I don't even care if Nick Gage made more money in one night than he's ever made in CZW history.
He definitely probably got paid.
Straight up.
Oh, yeah.
This was bad because, again,
Domino's not paying him.
The Painmaker and...
Oh, they're pissed.
Hold on. The Painmaker and the leader of the MDK gang do not belong in the same ring.
Bingo!
Jesse, you clearly want to rip on that, so please take off on that.
So
that's my springboard to you.
If
Reggie had one, take it together.
He already mentioned the failure of this main event. Everybody, Nick Gage and Chris Jericho don't belong in a ring together. Not at this stage in both of their careers. Chris Jericho cannot do deathmatch. This has never been his thing. He's never done it. He's never done it. Trying new
when
things
he was
now.
in ECW, first of all, I don't think ECW guys can do deathmatch because again, there's actual wrestling in ECW.
The only one who kind of can was a Sandman, but he came from the world.
Exactly. But my point is this. Deathmatch doesn't always have... Deathmatch is where you go to see a fight and a wrestling match might break out, which is why I think what Gene said is perfect. If Matt Cardona wants to be an absolute steal, he should now force everyone to wrestle WWE style when he faces him.
Yeah.
But my point is this. I'll let you continue. But this was the low point
I agree, Jay.
of Nick.
Sorry, continue.
Yeah, this was the low point of Nick Gage's wrestling career. Not his personal life. That's been well documented.
Right.
This is the low point of his wrestling career. Which is sad for a guy who, regardless of how he makes a living in the wrestling business, he scratches and claws for it.
Listen, man, he's a legend in the hardcore world of wrestling.
Yeah.
He just is.
Yeah.
But the first failure was these two shouldn't have been in a ring together, not at this stage in their careers. Because Jericho's still, I mean, listen, he's adapted
Going back to
again,
my point,
but-
though, Jericho, when he was in ECW, he was a part of that section of the show where Paul was showing off athleticism.
Yeah.
Where the luchador style
And they
was
still,
coming in.
like, went through tables
Well,
and
yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
But they were more, like, entertaining matches and stuff like that.
That was Paul giving you an upper for 10 minutes.
So that's first off. Second off, I bet you most of the AEW crowd had no idea how to take a promo from Nick Gage.
No.
They genuinely looked fucking confused after they showed that promo.
You know what the saddest part is? And this is why I feel bad.
By the way, for what he does, that's actually a really good promo.
Yeah.
Because he talks about literally, and so they spoke about it on air.
Yeah.
He technically was clinically dead for 8 minutes.
Yes.
After a
I also want
deathmatch.
to point something out.
Yeah.
Nick, look, again, regardless of how Jim feels about deathmatch, regardless of how anyone else feels about it, when you've worked so hard for something, which Nick has.
Don't mean to interrupt you. Jay, you kind of missed it. We have now mentioned.
We talked about that.
Yeah, we have already mentioned that Sasha Banks is now the Big Show with how many face and heel turns she has.
Already did it. The initials are already there, just backwards.
We'd get drunk if we had to do shots.
Yeah,
there.
but anyway, this is so sad in the sense that here's the deal. When you worked as hard as Nick Gage did, to finally be brought out to a lukewarm reception that he did the week before, that was sad. Because half of the AEW audience didn't know who Nick Gage was.
Yeah.
Out of the maybe 5,000 people that were in that arena, I would say less than 1,000 popped.
I could tell you probably less than 100 even knew who he was.
Yeah.
I mean, and I know who he is because I know about that world, and
This is what happened because he came out. It was like this. And he was dead.
It was so sad.
Here's the, like I said,
To quote one of my all-time favorite bands, he was dead on arrival.
I wish I had crickets on this, but I don't.
Here's the worst
one thing
part
you don't
about the
have?
main event.
I don't know why it doesn't have that.
Go ahead.
You spoiled it already. Here's what I mean. You knew Jericho wasn't going to lose Nick Gage.
No.
So now the novelty of Nick even being there wears off because he's clearly not going
And
to
not
win.
only that, but
Also,
but is it just me?
why is Chris Jericho taking the damn pizza cutter? Now listen, you've already pissed off Domino's, and I just got a great laugh off of that because I'm like, how do you piss off a pizza company? But apparently doing this,
And not even and a pizza company that until they changed their 50-year recipe 10 years ago had cardboard-like pizza. sorry, Domino's, you did.
That's true.
I like your
That's
recipe
true.
now. A little too much garlic, but I like the recipe now. But
well, I guess we're not getting that sponsorship anytime soon.
I'm a pizza guy anyway.
But yeah, here's the thing. Why do you need to do that, Jericho? What are you doing? Because now he's going to wrestle next week.
That's true.
Yep.
By the way, against a guy who's still been wrestling in AAA ever since WCW closed.
Ladies and gentlemen, in 1998, there was a little thing in this big company known as WCW, World Class Championship Wrestling, and it was it was known as the Cruiserweights. And even Goldberg,
awesome.
Bill Goldberg, as big as he was, he thought the Cruiserweights were just fun. They were entertaining. They were energetic. They were a shot of adrenaline right to the damn veins. And one of the stars of that division, one of the greatest luchadors of all goddamn time in America and in Mexico, Juventud Guerrera, the Juice, hasn't been on TNT in 20 years.
So why not throw him on?
And we're just going to randomly take a joke that Jericho made a year ago.
Yeah.
A fucking year ago. I'm sorry to your poor children that have to listen to me yell at this now, but
they're playing video games.
A goddamn year ago. I'm going to repeat it one more a fucking year
ago.
Long-term booking at its best. Fuck you. Anyway. That joke.
No.
And the saddest part is?
Horse shit long-term booking.
And the saddest part about this is?
Yes.
That the joke fell flat on that audience.
Yep.
It's like crickets.
You mentioned Juventud Guerrera to a PWG crowd, and they're going to fucking tear the roof out.
Yeah.
This was why.
I heard he's kind of jacked now.
Oh, Hoovy can go. Nothing against my boy Hoovy, ladies and gentlemen.
40s. Yeah, he can still go.
He's 46, but Hoovy's going to do it. But then, and I get it, it's the labors of Jericho. There has to be a wrinkle. But then, oh my God, why? We have had so many classics between Jericho and Hoovy, but you're going to say that it has to end with a top rope move?
Yeah.
Why? What are we doing? This is 2006 Raw versus SmackDown freaking booking when you were on Superstar mode.
Yep.
And you still got to continue even if you didn't do it. You just didn't get as much experience points. What the fuck are we doing?
They don't know what they're doing.
But the thing about it is that it's just look.
But what's next? I mean, how many stages are we gonna have?
Five. It's the 5 labors of Jericho. We've already been through the AEW labor. We've already been through the deathmatch, New Japan labor. Now we're going into the WCW labor. What are we gonna freaking get? Big Blue Meanie to get? Are we gonna get Stevie Richards back or something?
Somebody's gonna give.
I'll take Stevie.
Somebody's gonna give birth in the ring because it's labor. Yeah, I don't know what the hell they're gonna do next. I mean, Big Show's gonna come out and slap him.
Oh, I swear to God, if Big Show's in these labors, I'm done. I swear to God,
I will admit, if he walks out for a match,
there's a chance.
I actually might turn off TNT that day. I might be like, yeah, no, fuck this. I'm not doing this. I'm absolutely not doing this.
You know what's sad? This has reached Jade Cargill night 1 levels of. I just want to see how bad this is going to be.
All right, Jay has a question.
So, Jay, to answer your question real quick,
yeah.
I don't even think she's going to win the championship.
No,
I don't think so either.
No, they
It'll
like
be
Raquel.
Good tease, but
no.
I think
they like Raquel too much.
I think Raquel is going to get. I think Raquel is going to get a lengthy run.
Yeah.
For a while. I don't know what's going to happen with EO. We'll see how all this stuff plays out with them calling up women from NXT.
Yep.
But yeah, I see no way she even wins.
Can we also point out something? She wasn't there on the Friday that I was at, but if they don't find a way to make $1 million off Toni Storm, you're an idiot. She's so natural as a face.
I'm not even going to have that conversation because I want to get into some good of AEW.
Before we do that,
good of AEW.
Before we do that, we have to finish up with the labors. We must. I am so proud that Hoovy's gonna get this slot.
Oh yeah.
I swear to God, if this is fucking Tony Khan, and he doesn't give me Hoovy, and they somehow if it's not actually Hoovitude, I'm gonna be a really fucking pissed off human being.
Once again, I think it would be the first time I've ever turned off AEW if that happens.
If they somehow reverse it and don't give me actually Hoovy. But the other sad part...
You know what? AEW might make me turn off next week anyway, because remember, next week is the Cody Rhodes Malachi Black deal.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Is that happening already? Has it already been 2 weeks?
And I want you guys to know, I said it before.
They're having a match?
And I'll say it again. Yeah. If Cody Rhodes wins, you all need to... The toxic AEW marks, I need to see you on Twitter with a dead crow, and I need to see you cut it and eat it. Because the rest of us will have been right.
This is, I swear to God, if Cody Rhodes beats Malachi Black, to be fair, if Cody Rhodes beats Malachi Black at any point, this will suck. Because I just want this to be a one-off match, and then they just leave each other.
Malachi should be getting pushed to the moon after this.
Oh yes.
I doubt it.
I doubt it.
I doubt it. Remember,
I work 9 to 5 this Wednesday. And sadly, because of this moment, I'm going to need to figure out when in the show the Cody match is. But I may have to just be like, honey, go in the other room for a few minutes. Your boyfriend's going to have to sit through what might be a public beheading. So.
And don't worry. We'll be here next
By
Sunday.
the way, if he beats him.
And we'll talk about it.
If he beats him.
I might have to find that on YouTube.
I think with his own crowd, Cody might not be able to recover. He will get heat even though he's a babyface if he beats him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So to the good of AEW.
Yes.
I actually did not mind. I really liked the Julia Hart Thunder Rosa match.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but who can't work with Thunder Rosa, number one?
Here goes their problem with their women's division. So your champion's hurt again.
Yep.
By the way, no people, Nyla Rose does not have a hurting people problem. For some reason, these two, when they get into matches, they just hurt each other.
Yeah, a lot.
I don't know why.
Yeah,
it just happens. Ladies, just be careful.
Yeah. But apparently Britt Baker's indestructible when she's in a death match with Thunder Rosa.
But we digress.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. So that's 2 segments.
Yep.
Very quick segments.
Yep.
Back to back.
Yep.
Once again.
Yep.
You're failing your women's division. I'm sorry. You know what? You're not. Kenny Omega, you're failing your women's division.
As bad as
as
bad as Jessie feels whenever Charlotte speaks right now, at least she talks for more than 45 seconds.
Thank you.
That's true.
And like I said, I get Britt Baker's hurt. She shouldn't be wrestling right now, so she's ready.
I agree.
You build the contenders, no problem with that. But once again, that's 2 segments, back to back, within 5 minutes. That's horrible.
Also, I'm sorry. I'm one of these people. I'm a firm believer, and this isn't sexist. Don't have 2 women's segments in a row. Don't do it, please. Just please don't do it.
No, you shouldn't do it.
If it's one of those things where an interview goes awry and leads to a match, that's all one segment. To me. Okay. Regardless of how it's formatted, that's one segment.
It's one segment building to a match.
But
that's how it's done.
Don't give me 2 completely separate women's stories. And it's nothing. It's nothing against any women's division. It's just it's so not built up in wrestling at this point that it's just not something that's capable of going 2 in a row right now. It's not. Even Becky can't do it.
Yeah. I mean, when you spread it throughout the night, it's a lot better.
Yes.
So, as painful as the Raw stuff is right now, for a great moment that it was, they had the stupid thing of a contenders match that Charlotte just won. At least that story.
Where did they come up with this whole contenders match thing? Everyone's got one now. Was this always a thing and I was just like immune to it?
No, they just started it 2 weeks ago.
Okay, cool.
It's really stupid. It's one of those WWE things that when they do it, you're like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like,
just have somebody win and say there's a title shot. It's been doing it. It's been done in
wrestling.
Well,
you've been doing it for 30 plus years, Vince. What is this champion? Once again, though, that goes to the toxicity, but that's a different conversation. But the point I was bringing up was, as rough as that was sprinkled throughout the night. So you understood that was the main story beat through the night was the women's championship.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They once again only give their women 2 segments. They barely mentioned the fact that they started a story on Dark Elevation because they have an untapped market that they just don't give a shit about.
I also want to point something out. When I was, not to interrupt you, but this goes right to your point. When I was at SmackDown, one of the guys behind us, we were talking about all the wrestling that's happening right now in the world, and I was listing all the shows. I went Raw, Fusion, Tuesday is NXT, and then I go Wednesday is Dynamite. He goes, you skipped over Dark. I'm like, who cares? AEW skips over Dark. Why the hell should I care?
They don't care.
Sorry. Why the hell should I mention him when they don't?
They don't. So I was talking to a couple of wrestling fans, and that's still a gripe for them. It's just like, because they'll watch Dark Elevation, but it doesn't matter.
And you want to know what pisses me off more? On this goddamn program.
But they're gonna have the balls to try to have an hour show on Friday nights now.
Not only that, but they promoted it.
Yeah.
They promoted Rampage, and I'm looking at myself
Really?
like, so let me get this straight. A show that we literally heard about 3 months ago that you just ignored for 3 months because you probably didn't know what the hell you were doing anyway at the time. Now that it's happening, now you want to give it some love, and it's getting more love than the show you've been doing since day one? Really?
Because it can be on TV. That's why.
Fuck it. I don't care.
That's what they think.
Listen,
People are acting like YouTube's not a giant platform.
NWA succeeded for a very good time there.
Markiplier's entire career is literally one goddamn website.
Well,
he's got 29 million subscribers.
Which is why for wrestling, it's still untapped. Remember, MLW has now moved off of YouTube. It doesn't make sense because that's where they got a lot of their new fan base from, was the fact that they were like, hey, every week we're going to throw up a show because not everyone can be in sports, so we'll just throw it up there every week.
The problem is, and like you said, Billy got instant gratification.
Probably.
He went to fight too quick.
Yeah.
MLW probably went to Vice too quick.
Yeah.
Look, here's the deal. I give AEW credit for one thing. Not only did you get your TV deal, but you're keeping the YouTube deal. But fuck, why do I care more about your show on YouTube than you fucking do? Seriously.
Yeah.
This is... We're going to tweet Tony Khan. We are. When we finally get a Twitter. And hear me out. Hey, Tony. And then we'll put up a picture of the tiger from Frosted Flakes. Hey, Tony. Do me a favor.
I gotta set that up.
Can you just give me Dark, please? Can I just book Dark, please? And like not have to run anything by you or the Bucks or Kenny, please? Because I'll make people care about it, even with YouTube. I'll make people care about it.
And then throw us some money.
Not only that, but I'll call up you because you're an idiot. And yes, I know I'm trying to barter for a job at the same time. Who cares? Here's the deal. I'm going to look at you, and I'm going to do what everybody else apparently did. Because, let's be honest, you're paying Joey Janela.
The bad boy.
Thank you. Sorry, you're paying Marco Stunt. Here's the deal.
The short boy.
Dwarf dong sucker. Anyway, you are paying those guys, so I could easily go to you and say, hey, can you just give me a blank check? Because clearly you don't care where the money goes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to call Google, and I'm going to say, please patch me through to your YouTube advertising department.
No shit.
And find people like Markiplier, find people like Smosh, and do me a favor and put an ad for Dark Elevation on YouTube.
Yeah.
And put it... Shit! This is YouTube. They don't give a damn. I could probably get a Dark Elevation promo on a WWE channel.
Probably.
They probably wouldn't even know.
They probably wouldn't care. They laugh at it. They're like, they still need us.
But here's the deal. Yep. Give us the show. And I will spend an hour of my week writing Dark. And I guarantee... It'll be more entertaining
than
an
hour.
That's all I need to do.
Okay, all right.
That's all I need to do better than they're doing on Dynamite.
I thought it'd be less time.
They'll have an hour.
I gotta stop for a piss break at some point.
Oh yeah, you do.
They'll have an hour for Rampage though. So back to the good.
Yeah.
Before I get into it,
yeah.
Because you're gonna have a show on after SmackDown. No one's gonna give a shit.
Yeah.
No, even your fans are gonna be like, man, Roman was awesome. Time to go to a bar and do something fun.
Yeah, right.
So there was the women's stuff. Good this week. There was. I personally had a really, really good time with the Jungle Boy versus was that Angelico?
Yeah.
I thought it was a masterclass between the two young superstars.
Yeah.
Angelico deeply underrated as a technical wrestler.
Yeah.
Jungle Boy is growing. Yes, needs mic work skills.
Oh, yeah.
But he's only 24, 25. He'll get there.
Yeah. I don't think he needs mic work skills. I think he needs to be less nervous.
Yeah. But I thought phenomenal match. And yet, every time I see Jungle Boy, I go, boy, I called that shit. I said it. I'm like, he's not going to win the title, and right back to the tag division.
I want to point something out, and this is what's super sad. I was actually more optimistic about Jungle Boy's post-Kenny situation than you were.
I know.
What does that say about where we've come in our?
Because I'm like, yeah, there's no way. Because I've watched this Kenny thing for a while now, and I'm like, nope, he's going right back to the tag division. That's why anyone who's not Hangman who faces him, it doesn't even matter. No, they're not going to win. They're going to go right back to where the fuck they were. I thought the Ricky Starks things was funny. Until Brian Cage came out.
Yeah. I thought the tease by Darby Allin was good.
The tease is good because clearly, so now it's just confirmed he did sign.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I got to address this real quick when it comes to CM Punk AEW fans.
Yeah. Who they said? Who now said he signed?
CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, but they confirmed that they signed CM Punk.
Yeah.
Oh, they finally confirmed.
Yeah, they finally
did
confirmed.
Did CM Punk confirm that he wasn't doing it?
Well, somebody confirmed it and AEW confirmed it.
Yeah.
Right.
But here's a CM Punk problem that you guys don't want to answer that I'm sure WWE was kind of thankful for when he quit. If he ain't in the title picture, he ain't going to be happy.
Well, not only that, but
let me finish.
Yeah.
If he ain't in the main event scene, he ain't going to be happy.
Well, but here's the other thing that just bothers me.
Also, if Phillip Brooks isn't giving his damn ice cream bars at some point, he ain't going to be happy. So here's the question, AEW. Are you ready for the CM Punk problem? Because you're going to get 500,000 extra fans, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt, because he's got a very faithful following.
He does.
Even though, to be fair, I tell people I only remember him as a wrestler because as a UFC fighter, he lasted a lot less than I ever have in bed. So, and that's combined fights together. So, you now have the CM Punk issue.
Me, I think.
Let's see how you do after a year with it, because it's not going to be fun.
He ain't going to be there after a year. As far as I'm concerned, he's going to show up. He's going to, and here's the thing. Phil said he didn't want to be another guy doing bad TV. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, if you think that was bad TV over on Raw and SmackDown,
get ready, buddy.
The hell you about to experience here?
Get ready, buddy.
Also,
and by the way, bad TV is one thing, but your storylines were never bad. The CM Punk storylines were always good.
The other problem.
So, like, while you might have hated the booking, you worked with it. You got it done.
The other problem here is,
he
comes in. Let's say they shoot him to the top. Even if you work with Darby for a week and then all of a sudden you're on to something else, what's he going to do after a year? I'm serious. This has been my biggest issue with CM Punk. After getting to the top, after being best in the world, whether or not it was bad booking, whether or not it was his attitude, I don't care. What was he? He had built himself up so much to be one thing. And I'm sorry, nothing against Phil, but you're not John Cena. No. You can't sit in the world title picture for 15 straight years.
No.
You can't.
You can't be The Rock.
No. But the fact of the matter is this.
I'll give him this. He's better than Hogan.
That's not hard to do. Anyway.
Oh, my God. You are horrible.
Technical wrestling, Jesse's better than Hogan.
Way better.
Well, he wasn't too technical.
Exactly. But anyway.
More in Japan.
But anyway, but see, this is the thing that...
He was better in Japan.
Yeah. This is the thing that wore me out about the CM Punk situation. At some point, was he really the best? And I'm being serious. At some point, was he the overall... Yes, whatever, best technical wrestler in the world. Dude, the best technical wrestler in the world was never Ric Flair. Ric Flair could be out-technicaled any night of the week, but Flair could sell it.
Oh, yeah.
Flair was never a technical guy. He could just go in the ring.
Yeah.
You know, you were never going to be Tanahashi.
Yeah.
You're coming back to an indie world where your spotlight had dimmed the moment you signed with WWE. You're coming back to a guy who's younger, hungrier, and is already, in my opinion, more over than you ever were, even in the indies, Mr. Jay White, the King. I apologize. My apologies to the King.
King Switchblade.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Kneeled to the switch.
Is it me, or is the summer of Punk not over in Phil's mind, but has been long since over, and you know, it's weird they did this with Sting, even though Snow's never had anything to do with Sting. Did winter come?
We're in Minnesota, so winter is coming.
No, so the reference is because it's true. Sting has never had anything to do with fucking snow.
No.
Sting started off as a surfer.
And remember, it's not...
Exactly.
You can say the summer... No, it's not the summer of Cena. It's not the summer of Punk.
But that, no.
I know.
No.
I agree.
And then all
I do need them to stop that, though.
Yeah, it's...
I need them to stop that. Like, I'm happy he's going to be at the shows.
Yeah.
Like, it's great to see.
Yeah.
But, like, by the end of September, his ass will be back in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Let's stop with the summer of Cena shit,
Yeah.
WWE.
Well, but that's my point.
It's not a great selling point
Right.
when he's going to lose at SummerSlam.
But can we just...
There's a TV show to film.
but seriously, but just talk about it for a second. We talked about it earlier in the show, Daniel Bryan coming back. Daniel Bryan, and Jim even admitted this, Daniel Bryan is not coming back for money. He's done very well for himself. He's a very self-sufficient human being.
Yes.
He's coming back because he just wants to be in between the three ropes.
Yes.
That's all he wants. If it's comedy, if it's serious, he doesn't care. He just wants to... He just loves wrestling. I don't know if Punk loves wrestling or if he just was good at it and it was a way to make money. On top of that, his wife is incredibly successful right now.
She's a very well settled officer.
She doesn't need wrestling anymore. She was good at it, but found out she had many more outlets to it. But my biggest thing is just...
It's just nice to look at, too.
Daniel Bryan will come back, and he will fit in perfectly with this band of misfit toys because he's always been a misfit toy.
Yeah.
He's been the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer of this whole thing.
Yeah.
CM Punk is the dentist elf. He wanted to be a dentist, but at the end of the day, he was good at being an elf. I can't believe that actually worked, but you know what? It actually fits.
God, yeah, it does.
Holy shit!
Well, even with Britt Baker, it does fit.
Here's the thing. Listen, you've already alluded to it. Daniel Bryan, because he already said it when he was still signed with WWE. But that was the comfortability him and Vince had that I don't think Vince cared.
No.
Like I told people, I think Vince is more upset at the fact that Nick Khan couldn't get a deal with New Japan to make it work.
Yes.
Because Vince was willing to throw money at that product because he doesn't want Daniel to go.
No.
But Daniel's whole thing has always been, remember, the first thing he said was, listen, I would love to stay in WWE if I can also get a chance to wrestle outside of WWE and be okay. Like, we could put certain things in place that protects them, but it allows me to still, when I'm not working for them, to go wrestle outside.
Exactly.
And one of Vince's big reasons for hiring Nick Khan, which maybe he's having a little buyer's remorse on this end. Well, let me finish.
Yeah.
Is the fact that, he was hopeful, Nick, and he got the MLW deal done.
Yeah.
But he was hoping Nick could probably get, like, the New Japan deal done and some of the other wrestling promotions. Because Vince, apparently the rumor was, Vince, after talking to Daniel Bryan, it was like, I'm only willing to trust you and probably 4 other guys to go do this.
Yeah.
Just so we can see how it goes. And if it works, then I have no problem with it. Because as he's already stated recently, they're competition, but they're not a threat competition, AEW.
Yeah.
So I think losing Daniel hurt in that sense. But with CM Punk, like I said, they could have always gone back to him, but listen, here's $4 million. Come do a match. Well, and he already said that if they would have opened the phone lines with each other, he might have probably came back.
Yeah.
But he didn't take their call. So Triple H called this man a couple of times to come work in NXT for millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Because while he might not always agree with Phil Brooks, Triple H understands that the man is a draw.
Yes.
And that the man is a good wrestler.
This is my thing. When I don't agree with what Stone Cold did in walking out.
We got Baby Undertaker in there.
Yeah, holy smokes.
Chill out, Clara.
But anyway, this is my thing.
Yeah.
I think that even if The Rock, because remember, everyone looks at this and says Stone Cold got bigger than WWE. He could do whatever he wanted. Rock this, rock that. No, Stone Cold walked out after already establishing he was the biggest thing that they've ever done.
Yeah.
And Vince still won because Vince sent him home. And he stayed home.
Yeah.
So I want to make something very clear. Headache production. We've had this conversation a million times. I'm not going to bring it up again. But just at some point, and again, I look back on a lot of Punk's promos with rose-colored glasses because that was a fun time in WWE.
Yeah.
But
oh yeah.
then you look at everything else, and it's like, Phil, a good, decent guy. A lot of similarities between me and him in terms of what we like outside of the ring. But, dude, at some point, you were just a problem employee. Sorry, you were. You were a guy who, yes, I admit, deserved a little more than you got, blah, blah, blah. But guess what? That's not how life works all the time. Sometimes you got to be an employee. Unless you want to run your own shit, and guess what? Vince runs his own shit despite all the pitfalls that come with it. You could do the same, but you obviously don't want to.
Like I said, they have an extreme problem I don't think they understand that they have now.
Yeah.
Cody's about to find out that if Cody beats Malachi Black, he's about to find out what go away he is. And like I said, when he talked about signing there, and I was just like, you know what? It's fine. It'll be nice to see him in the ring.
Yep.
But after the first 2 months,
yep.
You guys don't understand the CM Punk problem.
Can we also go back to the budget cut thing that we did with Bray Wyatt? Here's the thing. You think Daniel Bryan and CM Punk are idiots?
They are 7-figure guys.
No, that's where they start.
I know.
That's not where they're going to end.
They're not walking in, starting at 5 figures, doing a Tom Brady thing. They're like, no.
They're 7-figure wrestlers.
That's a 7-figure. But here's the problem. Here's the problem, Anthony. You're going to pay them 7 figures. You're going to pay the other 7 figures. You're going to pay the 6 figures. You're going to pay the 5 figures. You're going to pay the random guys that apparently are on every single week, but they're getting paid like a couple thousand a night. All at the same damn time, and you ain't going to cut nobody. It took a sexual assault scandal to get you to finally cut somebody. What about lack of fans? What about lack of reaction? What about lack of productivity? What about lack of merchandise sales? What about lack of just pure being a fucking human being in general? What about the fact that there's a lack of production from your actual production team to put any effort into somebody? Right. That's a different thing than production from the wrestler. Right. What about the fucking fact that I could go on about what will it take for you to cut somebody? What about the fact that Brandon Cutler, when he first got here, was an active competitor, and now he's a goddamn cold spray bitch?
Right.
Enough of this. What will it take for you to cut somebody? Quick question.
Bankruptcy.
Quick question. Outside of Adam Silver, the other dude who won't put the damn mask on, outside of Adam Silver, that motherfucker, 10. Name anyone in the Dark Order besides Stu Grayson, Colt Cabana, and Evil Uno. You don't know them.
Nope.
Because it's just a bunch of, to quote Jim Cornette, interchangeable job guys.
Yep.
You will not cut anybody.
Right.
Because you want to be the anti-Vince. Well, guess what? Even your daddy has to understand that sometimes you got to cut bait when somebody don't work. Guess what? Tim Tebow don't produce. Tim Tebow's out the door.
Right.
As far as I'm concerned, I don't give a damn how much you like Tim Tebow. I don't give a damn how much the goddamn evangelistic Christianity community will show up in support of number 85, never played tight end in his damn life.
No,
I don't give a rat's hairy ass how much they support him. If he ain't going to produce on a football field, guess what? This ain't time to bring in personalities. It's time to bring in talent.
That's true.
And the dude's never been talented at anything but being a college quarterback.
Right.
He went 10-6. No. That defense went 10-6. Don't even
Sorry,
talk.
they didn't even go 10-6. They went 9-7, and they won a couple games on a wing and a prayer. Listen,
what does it take to? Here's the deal. You're mad at Vince for allowing a cut of 2 true superstars in Bray and Joe.
Yeah.
One fixed, one again.
Yeah.
Still out there.
Yeah.
You're mad about that. But what is it going to take to cut anyone on the AEW roster? You want to talk about Vince has got 90 people, and half of them are sitting in the Performance Center with no TV time, no NXT time, no in-ring skills, and it's just day after day doing the ropes, doing the bumps, learning the WWE way of doing things. And yeah, maybe it's all cookie cutter, but here you go. Yeah. But people are mad about that, but ain't nobody mad about the fact there's about 90 goddamn wrestlers. Half of them are still at home getting paid by Tony to not work one day a week. Dark's got the same 17 people.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Dynamite's got the same 17 people. Elevation's got a different 17. We're not even at 50 people, and there's about 100 in AEW. Half the goddamn What is Rampage in 1 hour gonna feature 50 people?
Like I said, man, you can't like they're trying to be like we're all welcoming, where everyone can be all in. But at some point, it's gonna get so bloated.
Outside of Jimmy Havoc, has anybody in AEW, whether they're off camera or on camera, whether they're wrestler or production, has anybody been cut?
No.
Anybody been cut?
No, I don't think so.
What is this?
He's an idiot.
And by the way, thanks to Jay on YouTube, I will now be going officially by Zach B. Bebe. Thank you.
Really?
No, but it
just
fit.
Got an Adam Cole pro. No, he did not.
No, but it fit. But anyway.
But close enough.
But I'm serious, Jesse. What is it gonna take to cut somebody in this company?
Listen, man.
A big ass
Does the Speak Out movement have to happen every year for Tony Khan to cut one motherfucker?
I'm telling you,
I think so.
And after all the injuries, Jimmy. By the way, not excusing Jimmy's behavior, but after the knee injury, Jimmy was a shell in progress of his former self.
Right.
Jimmy wasn't even at the top of Jimmy's game. He hasn't even cut Sabian.
Like I said,
we're still getting Pip. We're still getting Penelope pit stopping Pip, but Pip's injured. But for some reason now Penelope's the star. What is that bullshit?
Well, because she's the pit stop.
Now. Hey. It's a classic television show. We're not going to ruin it.
All right.
Like I said before, because now they're about to sign 2 7-figure guys. One who won't even be in their ring very often. No. He's just signing with them because I'm sure Cody wants his match.
Yeah.
Kenny probably wants his.
Yep.
But when you have that bloated and that red gets deeper and deeper and longer,
can I also point something out? Who the fuck has $1 billion checkbook and does their own video game? How many damn video game companies are there out there these days where you just toss them a blank check and say, do it, don't take care how long it takes, but do it right, and just sign it? For how much money they spent doing it themselves, they could have had Ubisoft giving them the fucking finger for 2 years and then get the game done.
Could have got THQ to do it. Listen.
Son of a... Actually, THQ, I think, went under.
Well,
I believe so, yes.
Yeah.
Either way, you think 2K gives a shit if they're doing WWE and AEW at the same time, as long as the check clears?
As I've said before.
Who has that big a checkbook and does it themselves?
They're just dumb.
As I've said before.
No, it's because Kenny's waiting until he looks. Before you go on.
In November.
Before you go on.
In
November.
No,
I'm sorry. I have to say this. Kenny Omega will not let the video game come out until he literally looks like the Ultimate Warrior without the face paint. Go on, Jesse.
By November, the head EVP, the friend, is going to have to look at everything with Tony Khan. And I think that's when you're going to start seeing it.
And by the way, to all the AEW crowd, I will eat crow if I have to, but I have yet to have to do it. Congratulations on hitting 11 or 1.1 million 3 weeks in a row. Hey, assholes, what is the one thing I've said 1,000 times? Do it on Dynamite, not Fight for the Fallen, not Friar Fest Night 1, not Friar Fest Part 2.
Friar Fest.
You
whatever the hell it is.
What? Who cares? Seriously, who cares anymore? It's the same damn shit.
Oh, that's funny, Friar Fest.
But here's the deal. Do it 3 straight weeks where you have no major special attraction and it's just Dynamite. And I'm sorry, I hate to be that guy.
Technically, their numbers were down 30%.
But no, here's the deal. Even though I just put them over earlier, and I can't wait to kind of maybe see it on the highlights, not the actual live.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Hoovy ain't gonna put you over 1 million.
No, he's
not in America.
No.
He's not.
No.
Hoovy can't even do that.
No.
So guess what? Quick question. Upcoming Dynamite. Random question. Because they are yes WCW 2.0, but sadly the
2.0.
But they're falling into Paulie's old trap of the big surprise every week. What is the big surprise this week besides Hoovy? What is the big thing they've announced besides Hoovy? Or is it just going to be a main event? And by the way, I actually responded to someone on this who was saying that they would like to see more of the tag team division. They were listing the people FTR could wrestle with. And I said, hold on, time out. Wait. Are you implying, are you implying that I can see FTR more than once every 6 months?
That would be
Are you
good.
implying that that's allowed? How dare you, sir? But anyway, I digress.
Were they talking to the Young Bucks?
I don't know.
They probably weren't because, you know.
But here's the deal.
He wouldn't do that.
You
unless
you
the
have
company-
done amazing with your ratings because they were big events.
True.
SmackDown doesn't have
Congratulations
big events.
on the ticket sales.
Also-
but remember,
Also-
Jesse's not wrong about Arthur Ashe because remember, Jesse said they'll probably sell tickets, but if the show sucks, that's going to become the problem.
Well, here's the thing. They're going to sell tickets, but they're still 20,000 short. I told you, that is a very large stadium. You got over-ambitious for a 2-hour show, and they're hoping to sell it out.
No, they're not.
The closer we get, like I said, I will make my bet because that's in September.
Yeah.
But by November,
What they've done is amazing on paper, but again, can you actually deliver with the show? That's the
No.
question.
No. If SmackDown could do it, SmackDown does it every week.
But,
And they
but that's
don't-
just it. It's done.
but they don't
It's
do
done
it
on
with anything.
Friday Night SmackDown, not the Great American Bash for 16 straight weeks. It's done on Friday Night SmackDown.
And they don't do anything
2 million.
special. Roman Reigns shows up and says,
And you know what-
acknowledge me.
And you know what's
then
strange?
they get $1 million.
You know what's strange? SmackDown is actually sort of slowly falling into that trap of Raw, where it's the same people, but they have purpose, they have lives, they have something going on. And so it's just. Let me make this clear. Jesse and I are not wrong about the ratings until Dynamite has 4 straight weeks of $1 million, and it's not the first 3 weeks of the show.
sure.
But the problem
and
is
it doesn't
is
have a
that,
special thing with
Yeah,
it.
but that's just it. That's just it. On a show where you've announced nothing, and I'm just here to watch, can you do $1 million? They've yet to do it. They've yet to do
Shit,
it.
I think Raw almost hit 2 again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Raw was terrible.
And Raw was not good this week.
Raw was bad this
Raw
week.
was not good this week.
Raw was.
I mean, I love the Damian Priest stuff. That
Yeah,
was great.
yeah.
I'm glad that
I don't
he's
know when
back
the
in.
fuck we're going to see Randy again, but Matt Riddle's still doing a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
And then Bobby's going to do a great job.
Yes.
But outside of that, Raw was not. It wasn't as bad as it has been.
Yes.
Because there's fans there to enhance it.
Yes.
But man, like trying to sit through the Alexa Bliss stuff, I'm like, oh, what the fuck is this? And I love the character, but what are we doing?
Yeah.
But
But-
listen, like I said before, because right now it's all roses. They got 2 legends coming in, one who's clearly not going to do but a couple of matches for you that you're going to pay most of the money to. So New Japan gets to get Daniel Bryan,
Yeah.
but they're not even going to have to fucking pay the money. What a gift for them.
Damn right.
By the way, can I point something out? That is the most Yano thing ever.
All right.
Get everything you want and pay nothing.
Paid nothing for it. So, come November, they're gonna have to. Because listen, I don't even think they count like the people in the 2 Rhodes Academies
Yeah.
on their books. I literally think that the Rhodes family takes care of that.
Yeah.
That's why I usually like. Who's the kid?
Anthony Ogogo?
No.
Before we go.
Well, him too, but
Solo, Ogogo,
there
Before
was
we go,
Camarato.
there was the other kid, the black kid.
Omagato. Go.
The one that's always like with, like, Coach Anderson, Arn Anderson, and all that.
Oh, yeah, no, the name escapes me right
So
now.
he
I can't
only recently signed an exclusive contract with them.
Right.
Because Cody and Dustin actually take care of those kids while they're wrestling for them.
Yeah.
Which I think is beautiful. And listen, Dusty raised 2 great boys.
He did.
It's just unfortunately Cody's going to have to do something that I think he thought he would never have to do.
Yep.
Like I said, but that's coming in November.
Yeah.
I think
because sorry.
Well, I think I saw JDX featured
Yes.
in a picture with the Cody Rhodes
Yeah.
school and stuff. So
Yeah.
I think he got into that school.
So he's
and
probably
did that.
working with them.
I believe so, yeah.
But he's definitely not AEW exclusive.
No.
But I will say this.
Yeah.
It's going to come to a point where between the video game that they lost all the money on because Kenny Omega,
And it's still not out, mind you. So they can't even start to try to rehash it. But here's the problem. We're going to go into the business side of this for just 30 seconds. Once again, Tony's playing with house money. He's got nothing to lose. Tony Khan is the Milwaukee Bucks. You spend all the money on one guy, Giannis.
Yeah.
Now, you're in the finals, and, people can say this and say I'm crazy, I've never been a pro athlete, blah, blah, blah. I don't think the Bucks have it after this year.
No.
Because in my opinion, I feel like they were playing with house money because everyone else got hurt.
Everyone got injured, yeah.
The Bucks took advantage of the one moment where they don't have to scratch and claw and try to beat a team at full strength because nobody was full strength in these playoffs.
Besides the Suns, but they also benefited from injuries, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is this. The Bucks are going to have a much – I don't think the Bucks are going to own the East for the next 5-10 years.
No.
I don't think it's possible.
No.
Because you're still going to have to ask dudes to go to Milwaukee. And Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams ain't even going to be in the state of Wisconsin after next year.
Well,
but
Milwaukee is a lot better than Green Bay.
That's not saying much. Anyway.
Just don't say that in town.
Yeah. But anyway.
I almost had to fight off I probably would have won.
Yeah, exactly.
But my buddy did that a few years ago, 10 years ago, and went to see Trivium and a couple other great metal bands. He was wearing his Viking stuff, and the guy was like, Viking fan, huh? And he was like, I mean, better than that crap you guys wear. And, like, they almost showed up like the Oompa Loompas.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and you're just like, oh, man, they're all short, fat, and bald. But
yeah.
Give me a baseball bat. I'll take it.
But anyway.
Not afraid.
But anyway, this is my point. Tony Khan is the little kid, the spoiled little rich kid who doesn't know the value of $1 and is currently playing with house money. He has every opportunity, and he's taking full advantage of it. He is. And I give him credit for that. But at the end of the day, where is Jim Cornette wrong when he says he's a money mark, he's playing with house money, Daddy said sell, it's playing. Where is he
also,
wrong about this?
before you finish,
It's true.
let me get on Tony Khan's punk ass real quick.
Anthony?
You have the nerve, sir, to sit there. And so he took a piss pot shot at WWE.
He did.
Which, by the way, I thought you guys were done with this. You put a company thing out saying, hey, guys, got to stop this. He did that.
Yep.
Him and Cody together did that.
Yep.
Hey, guys, got to stop the shots at WWE.
Yeah.
It makes no sense anymore.
But he's a spoiled little rich kid. That's all he
So
is.
he does it again.
Yeah.
Talking about, what was it exactly? Like something like, you know, I don't do this, like blah, 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 like certain old people up north. Like
They have the least amount of rematches.
Something like that. I'm like, I'm sorry.
That's because you have no storylines to go off of, you moron.
The rematch thing can be an issue, but they're trying to run stories the way WWE has ran stories for over 40, 50 years. Nothing new. It's just the way they do it now. It feels tedious. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, I agree.
But coming from a fan, I'm always like, you know what, dude, I'm on your side. But from you, sir.
But again, you're coming from a fan who's ultimately paying money to watch it. This is coming from a guy who doesn't need to do this, who shouldn't do this, because again, by the way, Jesse.
Cody Rhodes has to be having buyer's remorse at this point.
He has to.
There's no
to point something out. You have said this before. Shad is essentially giving it to Tony.
Yeah.
But come on, Tony's not a billionaire.
No.
Tony Khan has not made as much money as his daddy has. And for how much money we know he's already spent, you know that ain't Tony's.
No.
You know that's daddy's money.
Oh yeah.
Even if he gave AEW, you know daddy's still writing a blank check every week.
Oh yeah.
It's daddy's money.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Daddy said sell.
Christ, you should just give us some money. Give
I
us a grand.
I can tell you right now. You give us, I'll take $1,000 to literally just say "Yay, Anthony" on this show every week.
There we go. We will promote and say
at least
you
I
are
admit
awesome.
that I can be bought.
But the rest, I think I need more if I'm going to say that.
I'll take $1,000 a week. I'm okay with that.
I'm gonna go.
By the way, I thought this was supposed to be the company before we finally get off of these dudes.
I'm gonna go for $2,000 because I want to get some
I
wireless
thought this
cameras.
was supposed to be the company that was going to raise new talent.
They haven't done shit.
And the last, and listen, because there's some pundits out there. I mean, all you guys just do is WWE guys, and then they'll have their defense, whatever, cool. Here's the thing: most of their more well-known guys are former WWE guys, but that's going to happen at any company because for the longest time WWE is the biggest company. in the world.
Exactly.
Because not a lot of people back in the day could watch New Japan.
Yeah.
We did some illegal stuff back then to watch New Japan if they weren't coming
Now,
to
to
the
be
States.
fair, Tony does get some credit from me because he's probably gonna get Tanahashi in America.
Probably.
But here's the deal.
But it's on New Japan's dime.
Yeah, but here's the deal. If you
at a New Japan event.
Yeah, but exactly. But here's my thing. If you find a way to here's the deal. If something goes wrong with the Tanahashi thing, it ain't Tanahashi's fault.
New Japan might.
Tanahashi can't screw up at this point.
They might be like half and half on ever working with you if you screw up Tanahashi.
Here's the deal.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the deal. There's about 3 people right now that you don't want to fuck with, and you don't want to anger Gato and them boys. One is the King, one is the Golden Boy, and the other one's the Ace. Anybody else, you might get away with some stupid, cheeky stuff. Not those 3 guys.
No.
Oh, hell no.
Well,
Impact already knows what happened when they messed with the Golden Boy last time.
I will say this. You don't want to try to tell, like, Minoru Suzuki to do something funny because then all he's going to do is beat your guy into oblivion on live television.
Oh, no. By all means, tell him to do it. But like I said, he's going to leave your guy in a bloody-ass hole.
Like, he's going to shoot on your dude and just leave him in a bloody heap.
Oh, yeah.
And people were like, wait, was this a part of the match? And I'm like, no, but I loved it.
Minoru Suzuki is not a gimmick, is not kayfabe.
You know how The Rock used
shoot.
to say
That
The
is
Rock
shoot.
doesn't give a monkey's ass what you think? Minoru Suzuki literally could wipe a monkey's ass with your brain cells with what you think. He does not care.
No.
But like I said, man, come November, they're not because that's the end of their year quarterly.
Yep.
Come November,
Yep.
the man who's invested so much into this, outside of the guy who uses daddy's money, because Cody doesn't have daddy's money. He actually had to earn a lot of that on his own.
Yeah.
He's going to have to sit with Tony and be like, we got to make changes. No matter what the numbers say.
And you want to know what the saddest part is? And I've loved this, and we'll get to it obviously in the future, but this is the end of this segment when I say this. Sadly, when he has that meeting, you know what he's going to say, don't you? We got to go a little more WWE.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to leave it at that.
I just want to point out that, once again, Cody was out there praising Triple H once again as his favorite wrestler.
He was.
He also said that recently, which got AEW fans upset, that he was actually looking at them having a meeting. All I'm saying is Cody gets it.
Yep.
He does.
So, Leroy,
Yes.
now that we transition into some good old nostalgia that isn't, bad WCW 2000
There we go.
TV. Today in wrestling history, what do you got for us?
I got a couple
All right.
tidbits, nuggets
This
here.
is always a nice palate cleanser after
go.
we've just delved into the world of Spot Monkey.
We talked about him earlier, but
Well, is this a good palate cleanser before we talk about Vince Russo?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we're not talking about it.
I don't know.
All right. 15 years ago today, CM Punk made his debut on ECW on Sci-Fi with a submission victory over Just Incredible. That was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go with this, and as I said, just little tidbits. Remember the Olympics? Remember?
Yep.
What's going on right now?
Yep.
And remember the lovely Kurt Angle in 1996. During this time of the Olympics going on, he won his gold medal with a broken freaking
neck.
Yes.
To be fair, so I saw Sports Center kind of put that out there, and I'm like, so I put a comment that got a lot of likes, loves, and then laugh reactions. I'm like, well, he's been telling us this for 20 years, though, guys.
And it's like, yeah, something we know already.
He won't let it go.
No, he won't.
All right. And then to end it, I got a couple birthdays
All right.
today.
These are always fun.
Oh, yes. It's 49 today. Good old Devon Dudley. He's turning 40. And then Prince Ayuka. Remember him?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's 56.
Wow.
And it's his birthday today, yes.
Wow.
And his real name, I don't know how to say his middle name, but it's Michael Hayner.
Okay.
His middle name is, I don't know. You look at that yourself. How the heck do you say that?
Layuli.
You think so?
Yeah.
Let me see.
His middle name at the bottom one
Yeah,
there.
Michael Laui Hayner.
Lauyi. Okay.
It's definitely Samoan specific American.
But yeah, no. So here's the deal. On to some fun stuff to sort of close out the night here. Next week, another show.
We'll be here next week.
In 2 weeks, we're going to be at MAW Bash at the Lift Bridge Brewery, featuring the lovely, formerly known as Kelly, Barbie Blank. The world's strongest man, Mark Henry.
Can't wait for that.
That's going to be fun. Going to be a great show. Please support MAW Live on YouTube.
Yes.
They put up some of their shows.
They're actually like putting up shows like a day after.
Yep.
After they
Yep. A lot of fun. Love
they
to
say
watch.
they are officially sold out.
Yes.
The show is right now, but yeah, it is featuring.
Looking forward to that. And
remember Eric Redbeard.
Yep.
Former WWE, Eric Ronan. He's gonna be there.
Also, in 3 weeks, the long-awaited DPW Warmth of Warfare will be happening live at Clyde Iron, and it is not the show once thought, but it's still going to be a banger. It's still going to be great.
And something that I guess we'll figure out for you guys is doing a live show down there before the show starts.
Yeah. We might have some special appearances from some people.
Yeah. We hopefully do that. Yeah, I'm talking to them and to promote. We're gonna get our stuff down there. We're gonna do a live show beforehand.
Because luckily for us, that one's actually in town.
Yeah, no, it helps right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just it's gonna be it's gonna be a good show.
It's gonna be a damn good show.
Plus, I believe it's the tournament for that championship that I forgot. I forgot the tournament started. Eric, I apologize. I said I would train, and I forgot because I want that championship. So whoever gets that championship, you are on 1 year notice, buddy. I will be training to get that beautiful gold around my waist, sir.
It's going to be a good time.
Well, we already held on to it, too.
I want it back again. It was so good.
I believe there's...
Anyway,
I think there are still tickets available.
I think, it's not completely sold out yet, but I believe the sales are going quick, so get your tickets for DPW.
Yeah, Discover Pro Wrestling.
So anyway,
come meet us.
Jesse,
heck yeah.
Jesse mentioned a little bit about it. So I don't think this was recent. I think it was a bit back. But Vince Russo apparently has tried to apologize to Jim Cornette, and not just the funny one he did during a stand-up routine, but an actual sort of real apology.
He actually sit down and.
Let
on his podcast.
Yes, let me point something out.
Oh my God, it was so.
Jim Cornette. Okay, this is the time where I think it's time that we finally acknowledge that. Look, folks, Jim Cornette, in my opinion, has never come across ever, and I've listened to many of the Experience and the Drive-Thru. He's never come across as old, out of touch guy who just wants it the way it used to be.
Yeah.
He's just saying that the cold hard facts is wrestling is not drawing 10 million people to their TV screens every night like it was back in the old territory days.
Correct.
Jim Cornette legitimately never actually kayfabes. He legitimately, when he says "fuck you," he's not happy. And here's the deal: I would rather get my news from a historian like Jim than Dave Meltzer, who apparently at this point has no idea what he's doing in the wrestling business. The fact that Dave Meltzer... But, by the way, do you guys actually know who officially has the most 5-star matches in the history of the Pro Wrestling Observer?
Probably could be Megan.
It's Matt Jackson.
What?
Matt Jackson has officially been in more... It's one of them. I'm pretty sure it's Matt. But yes, according to the Wrestling Observer, the most 5-star matches that have ever occurred in a wrestler's career belongs to one of the Young Bucks.
We agree, Jay. Dave is a mark.
Yeah, that is so true.
That's nothing more to say. But the thing about it is that I would rather get my news from Jim, who, when he talks, you can't deny the fact that what he says actually makes more sense than what you saw. It does. There are ways to get people over. And by the way, for anyone, if you can ever get your hands on it, because I know most of the library is split between Jim and Vince, but if you can ever get your hand on some YouTube clips that somebody has, when Jim Cornette was running OVW Wrestling, Ohio Valley Wrestling, and he had stars down there like John and Batista, that was some of the most consistent storytelling television you saw in years. And actually, I would say, even though it wasn't the peak of Ring of Honor, that was some of the most consistent Ring of Honor television you saw.
Oh, yes.
When Jim was involved. And for those of you wondering about the Russo thing, if you ain't heard that legendary rant, that is some of the greatest 45 minutes you will ever hear of one human being's hatred for another. I listen to it about once a month to remind myself that, you know what, in this world there is love, there is torture, and then there is hate. Because there's no way that you don't hate someone when you do something like that. Because man, oh man, did he bury a man who once thought Viagra on a pole was a good idea.
He still thinks it's a good idea.
Oh, no, he thought it was great.
It is amazing to me that...
He's killed how many companies?
That's the thing.
Yeah.
This is a guy who was under Vince McMahon for years, and what you learned was how to kill a company from a man who learned how to expand one to
but you also have to remember the legendary rant on Vince Russo pretty much states, and at this point it's been confirmed, but from how many different people, that Russo would throw 40 different ideas at the wall. Vince would hear 3 and go, okay, I'm going to go to my TV producer, I'm going to go to the truck guys, and we're going to somehow spin this. So Vince Russo may have had some ideas, but let's be honest. You had 3 ideas out of 100 that worked, and they only worked because Vince found a way to spin it. You were literally a spitball guy.
Yeah.
And Vince made it work. So in reality, McMahon Vince is the reason why Vince Russo ever made anything work.
I will also say this, though, when it comes to Jim Cornette.
And by the way, regardless of the stories, regardless of the stories, watch the booking of Russo on television and tell me that Cornette's not right, that this is what happened.
I will say this, though, when it comes to just everything that happened with WCW and Jim Cornette's hatred of this man. So like I said, I don't. Only reason I don't.
He also named TNA Wrestling. That's been confirmed.
The only reason I don't take my news from him, but I do listen to him as a historian, is because he was there.
Yeah.
But I don't like I said, I usually don't like to take my news from Jim Cornette because there's the old school guys who do try to adapt to understanding what's going on with the new school guys. And then there's Jim Cornette, as they like to say.
Well, but to be fair, Jim was very complimentary of Ilya versus Walter.
Well, yeah, because
but how could you not?
If he was, like he said, though, if he was a part of some of the new promotions now, it's something that he probably would have pitched to them to do.
Yeah.
And it works, especially in the British style. It works.
Yeah.
But the hatred, and listen, Vince Russo's a piece of shit. It is well documented. But to me, it's amazing. Everything that Vince Russo has done, and I understand why Jim Cornette wants to whip his ass and murder him.
That's only been confirmed about 7 times from Jim's own 2 lips.
Is the fact that Eric Bischoff doesn't hold that? Because remember, Eric was one of the spearheads that led the charge of, at one point, WCW putting WWF in a lot of trouble. Like Vince said, Eric Bischoff almost ran me out of business.
Yep.
Because his booking and his creative was so damn good. And then somehow Ted Turner allowed Vince Russo to get in his ear. I don't know how.
Yeah.
But I will say this. If you're Jim Cornette, if you want to hate the guy, fine. But for once, that was a legitimate apology. You don't have to accept it.
No.
I'm not saying you have to accept it. But it would be interesting to just see you go, you know what, fuck him, I'm done with him, and I'm just moving on. While the stories are entertaining.
Technically due to the restraining order, he has to.
That is true, yes.
But
he did legitimately apologize for a lot of, and to be fair, I mean, while Jim hates Vince Russo, he should hate Ed Ferreira more. And I know he does, but he should hate Ed Ferreira way more. Way more.
He should hate a lot of people for, especially for how bad Ring of Honor ended up after he left. Because Ring of Honor was on its last legs for a couple years there before they found a way back up.
Well, they got, for a while, Colt Cabana did get involved. That helped a lot.
Yeah.
Which is why the famous CM Punk did, hey, Colt, kind of little thing that he did. But yeah, I would be interested to kind of hear, because I don't think he's ever responded to that apology.
I doubt it.
Yep,
I doubt it.
No.
But
he responded to the apology that Vince Russo did in that stand-up act.
Which
clearly wasn't an apology.
No.
He doesn't. And Jay put up something here and said Eric ran him out of business because he was spoiling results before they aired. Yes, but that was the biggest thing when he especially the one with Mick Foley winning.
Well,
that kind of.
Well, Jay, I will say this: Eric
good.
actually, just in general, almost ran him out of business because WCW stories for a while there, their full shows were just better than Raw every week.
The one thing I will also say is this, and Jay, if you're still listening there, bro, go look up whether it's an e-copy of it or if it's the actual book. Dude, Eric's book, I got to get you this book. I got to find it. It's not written the way I think you think it is written, Jesse. Because when I first mentioned it, you said you didn't want to read it because you thought it was just going to be the WWE edit of it. It's not.
Okay.
It was written under the WWE studios, but the way I remember reading it was Eric was very honest about things. I think Eric even admitted he lied about getting a job with WCW. Pretty sure that was in the book. But the thing about it is that Eric does speak very, very closely to the vest about the issues that he's had over the years. He said, Paul Heyman's not a guy that I would sit backstage and shoot the shit with, but I got nothing against Paulie.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Paulie knows what he's doing. The other thing about it is that he speaks on Ted Turner's merging of AOL, the Time Warner thing, which was the very bad business decision outside of wrestling. But he says what killed WCW was the fact that Ted Turner was the man who told the guy from TNT, give Eric 2 hours of live television. Give Eric this. Give Eric that. Ted wasn't in charge of WCW. It went to a bunch of people who didn't like wrestling.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting read in the sense, and I think everyone should go read it, Controversy Creates Cash, because Eric, in my opinion, both talking about his personal life, his kids, his family, the wrestling side of things, I think it came off incredibly genuine.
Okay.
In the sense that whether or not you view Eric Bischoff as a genuine human being or not, I could care less.
I think he is.
In that moment, talking about the death of WCW, he tried to buy it.
Yeah, he did.
He tried to buy WCW, and I don't remember if he was outbid or if it just wasn't something that eventually came to fruition. But at the end of the day, I think basically what it was ultimately, regardless of what Eric says in the book, the people at WCW just gave it to Vince because they didn't want it. The people at Turner just gave it to Vince.
Turner didn't give a shit about pro wrestling anymore.
And the thing about it was that they gave it to Vince for pennies on the dollar.
Oh, yes, they did.
We've done the math on the show. Vince paid nothing for it. Most expensive thing was the library.
Which is what Vince really wanted.
Exactly.
Overall.
But the thing about it is this. Vince wins because Vince has, regardless of what anybody thinks, he's always kept it as a single wrestling company. He's never brought in investors who have say the way he does. He's never merged it with other things. It has outlasted everything because he's adapted to the world of entertainment. He was willing to listen to ideas.
Correct.
And even if and at the end of the day, the greatest companies that have ever existed, they had one guy making the final say. Doesn't matter where the ideas came from. One guy had the final say. Because here's the deal. An engineer, brilliant, can have 30 freaking ideas. One of them might work. The other 29 could work, but one of them is going to be $1 billion idea. The other ones will make you a couple $100,000.
Right.
So,
that's true.
Anyway, Controversy Creates Cash. Go watch it. Next week we have a show. Then 2 weeks in a row there will not be shows. Actually, no, 1 week in a row there won't be a show.
1 week in a show.
And then we'll sort of catch up there at DPW. But please, ladies and gentlemen, as we always say, please support local business. Please support black-owned business. Please support your local wrestling company.
Also, one last thing before we go. The argument between wrestling fans that Triple H's success is only because of Stephanie McMahon. You don't know about pro wrestling. I don't want you watching the show, to be honest. I meant to tell you to add this on here. You're an idiot. The fact that Jim Ross has to come out and even speak about this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's one of the best technical wrestlers of all time, one of the best storytellers of all time. And if you hated him his whole run, then he did his fucking job as a heel. So
also, let's be honest about one thing. If it was, and this is a serious personal matter that I want to get into. If Vince married Stephanie, and then they
good point, Jay.
If Vince married Stephanie, and then like let's say they got divorced like 10 years later after Triple H's real run, then I get it. Then maybe you can say it. They got 3 damn kids. They're obviously the perfect couple. They work together.
Yeah.
Everything makes sense.
It does.
He has made it work where most wrestlers can't make it work with the average woman they've met on the street. He's made it work with a boss's daughter.
Correct.
So
It's gonna cost him fucking everything, by the way.
there's
Oh yeah.
there's jealousy involved. Undertaker said it best in Thy Kingdom Come. There's always going to be an asterisk by career, but you know who you are, and you clearly went for what you wanted most in life, which was ultimately family.
Yeah.
And at the end of the but okay, quick question though to everybody, because let's leave the wrestling history in for 5 seconds. You take Stephanie out of the equation. How is that not still a Hall of Fame career?
It was.
Before he even met Stephanie, before the whole daddy thing came to light, he was already on a Hall of Fame trajectory.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, he was.
He was already on a
Him and
path.
Shawn Michaels alone were on a hell of a
Would he have
trajectory.
gotten to the level that he is now? I can't say.
We don't know.
But to say he wasn't on at least a 5 or 6 championship reign trajectory it is asinine to even believe.
Oh yeah, I agree with
like
that.
I've said before, Scott Steiner is fine for him to have his opinion. He just hates Triple H. That's fine. The two men don't get along.
No.
It's fine.
To be fair, Scott Steiner barely gets along with his brother anymore.
I'm about to say
That's
Scott
true.
hates his own brother. I think in business for the damn restaurants, and that's it at this point.
I think so, yeah.
But otherwise, Scott's not right. So Scott once again said how, like, well, if it wasn't for Stephanie McMahon, then Triple H wouldn't even be the Hall of Famer you guys all think he is.
And Brett said the same thing, but
coming from Brett, that's odd. What beef did he ever have with Triple H?
Brett's still mad about the screw job. Triple H knew.
Triple H knew, but he had nothing to do with it. Brett's a bitter old man nowadays.
I hate to say this.
He's getting that way.
I hate to say this, and this might be the hottest take ever on this show. Truth be told, what did Shawn have to do with it? I'm serious.
Yeah.
Shawn did what his boss told him to do.
Yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to hate to say this, Brett.
Vince was right.
Vince was right. Because, and here's why. Vince is right because A, Alindra Braze, Medusa.
Yep.
And number 2, Brett. You can't ever confirm or prove that you were going to drop the belt. I'm sorry, as honorable in this business as you were, Brett. I'm sorry. I think it's something that a lot of promoters would have done. And I've wanted to say that for the longest time. I think ultimately Brett not willing to do. And here's the thing. What's weird for me, coming from the Hart family, not willing to do the job.
No.
Really?
No.
And that's not me hating on the best there ever was. That's AB's GOAT right there, okay?
Yeah.
But not willing to do the job, but you had a love for the business.
See, here's the thing. Like I always said about Brett when it came to that situation, if you didn't want to do the job to Shawn, you were given an out by the Undertaker. Lose to me, I'll lose to Shawn. Basically, Undertaker would only held the title for like 3 weeks.
And that's the thing. The all-time WWE GOAT, in my opinion, even over Stone Cold, the Undertaker. He was willing to do the job.
He was like, listen, why don't you lose it to me?
And you think Taker was happy with Shawn's backstage?
No.
No.
But he was like, lose the title to me. That way I can lose the title to Shawn. They can do what they wanted with Shawn all along.
The Montreal
and we can
screw
move
job,
along.
whether or not you want to say Vince made the right call or not, it is all 100%, and I will always believe this, if you look back on it without the rose-colored glasses,
We agree, Jay.
it's Brett's fault.
Yeah. It's like
It was.
Brett, as Jay said, he never got over the screw job. He's still bitter. And let's see here. Brett didn't want to do right by the business. He deserved to get screwed, honestly.
Yeah.
Sent WWF into another level. Yeah, no, I agree.
Yep.
And like I said, Brett, like I told people, because some Canadians they still chant it just to chant it. But here's the thing: it's one of those things that like I tell people all the time about that whole screwjob situation. That's Brett's fault. It didn't have to happen. Vince accepted that you were going to leave.
Yep.
Even though he's going to try to overpay you to keep you there, he accepted that you were going to leave.
Yes.
His only thing was, hey, can you just lose a Shawn then? So we can move up Shawn's trajectory.
And for someone whose family believed in that business so much, one of the most basic parts about this business is doing a job on your way out.
Yep.
That's it. And all you had to do.
And by the way, you want to know why Vince ended up being right? Because you went to WCW for the money, and they did nothing with you.
And then Goldberg, of course, infamously ended your fucking career with a bad kick. So listen, Vince wasn't wrong. He's like I said, it seems like nowadays, now that he's away from WWE completely, he's become a very bitter old man, and that's a damn shame. Because I thought back in I think that was 2009, 2008, or something like that. Yeah. When they brought him back, I thought they finally did bury the hatchet on that. Like, listen, I was wrong. These things happen. Listen, me and Shawn may never, ever have a family get-together.
No.
But I do respect the competitor he was, the Hall of Famer that he is as well. We elevated each other even though we hated each other. I thought that's where they were. Clearly, he's not. And that's a damn shame.
Yeah.
Regardless if he has that fine-ass black woman next to him. To see him that way, it almost hurts me sometimes when I see him comment. Because I'm like...
This is almost a really good circle back to what I talked about with my personal life right now. Once you find that happiness, the past don't matter.
It don't.
But for Brett, apparently it still does. And it's a damn shame. It's like I thought we were past this, Brett. I thought we were good.
And not only that, but it's like, Brett, no one's ever gonna sit here and deny.
They put you in the Hall of Fame.
Well, no, it's not just that. No one's ever actually gonna sit here and deny that you aren't probably technically the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be.
He was
because
excellent.
Because here's the deal. Where I always say Io Shirai is the master of the sky and it's just crisp perfectness.
Yeah.
Everything Brett did was just crisp perfection.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like I said,
as
we kind of come off the show here.
Yeah.
I saw it pop up on my thing and I'm like, I don't know why this is still a topic in pro wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, it shouldn't be.
This bitterness towards Triple H. Like, Triple H did wrong by a lot of people.
He did.
But it's none of the people who are speaking out against him.
Yeah. Not even Phil Brooks has as much to say.
Who clearly said, like, listen, personally we didn't get along, but business-wise we understood each other.
Yeah.
Yep.
They didn't, like, sit in a room together. That's fine.
Like I said, support, guys. Go to a wrestling show.
Absolutely.
Enjoy it. Try to get to those live shows. No matter where you are in the arena, you're going to see an amazing event.
Oh, yeah.
Support all those businesses. Haitian Heat, still one of the best hot sauces you're ever going to have.
Oh, definitely.
I don't even need to give a long pitch. Just we're going to Elstein Haitian Heat today.
Right.
It's so good. Thank you to everyone who followed along on YouTube. Please send your friends to subscribe. We're at 54.
Absolutely.
James, hopefully you're subscribed because, well, you were commenting most of the show.
I
really
so,
appreciate that. Appreciate everyone who was there. Appreciate everyone who watched. We're going to hopefully do a little more of those down the line, but we still love our ability to come in and just do a nice little podcast show. But for everyone here at 13 Cards, Jesse, you got some more stuff coming for Jay's Take on our YouTube?
Hopefully the first show will be coming back in September.
There we go.
Right.
So right around football season,
there we go.
I'm going to have this guy on. We're going to talk sports, people.
You poor Jets. Anyway.
Definitely check us out on Podomatic. We did good again this week. Number 2.
We're still there, baby.
We're in the number 2 middle of the week. We're still in the top 5 for all week. So
also, Leroy is now into the mid-50s on shows put on our YouTube channel. So
I've collected everything on our hard drive, so I'll be able to put more up there.
All right, that's great to
we'll
hear.
Closer.
Yep, but like I said, folks, pro wrestling is back in a big way anywhere and everywhere. Please find a local show near you. Support the wrestlers because, remember, they are doing everything they can to put on a good show for you. And if you support a show like we support Jesse's lovely shirt there, MAW, Midwest All-Star Wrestling, if you support them, you might see someone that you never thought you'd see at a show.
That's true.
All I got to
say.
Thank you all so much from 13 Cards Subject Change. We are out of here. We'll see you guys next week.